On this full moon in Aquarius episode of Spelling the HEKA-TEA with Marcus and Evan.
Of course, as always, we will be starting off with Witchcraft in the News.
Followed by our main topic, Hot Cauldron, what is becoming our now annual Hot Topic review episode, where we talk about the stories and things that interested us, made headlines, but didn't necessarily find any actual fit in the Witchcraft in the News segment. So we're going to talk, speak, bitch, moan, rant, and other things about all the fascinating stuff we weren't able to get to this season.
We also have our Chilling Adventures of Sabrina rewatch.
Followed by SpellCraft.
And then on our Witchy Media review, we will be watching the 1969 film by Larry Jordan, Our Lady of the Sphere.
All this and more on Spelling the HEKA-TEA with Marcus and Evan.
Join us.
Hey witches, blessed full moon in Aquarius, and welcome to an all-new episode of Spelling the HEKA-TEA with Marcus and Evan. I am Marcus James, author, activist, witch, bitch, and as always, a very defiant, very, very subversive homosexual.
And I am Evan. I am a legal assistant. I am a fiction editor, which, of course, a big old lipstick lesbian. And in honor of this full moon in Aquarius, I must tell you that I am our resident Aquarius moon, and I am here today to bring you the weird.
She's not lying. Not lying at all. Totally weird. If you are new here, welcome. We are so happy to have you. We drop episodes every new moon and full moon right here on YouTube. And if you are a returning champion, as we love to call you, and you now totally know why, welcome back. As always, we love you. Thank you for your support. Either way, if you like what you see and you want to continue hanging out with us and maybe help us be able to do even cooler shit and upgrade from recording on my cell phone to maybe a better camera, please, 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 please do the best, magical, wonderfulest thing you can do for us to help us, which is to like, comment, subscribe, hype, and share worldwide, and help us to continue to build this beautiful, magical, powerful, deliciously wicked, painful, and blessed coven right here in our corner of the circle.
Where we are two homos, one cauldron, and it is a spellbindingly good time.
Abso-fucking-lutely, root tooty, fresh and fruity. All right, so welcome to the Hot Cauldron episode.
Yes.
This is all about gab and gossip. This is all about hot topics. This is all about the interesting kind of things going on that we came across that we just didn't get to, either because there wasn't enough from it to actually build like a full like main topic around, or it wasn't like a situational, last week this happened, or, on, a week, 2 days ago, so-and-so store was protested. Like, it was just like a general like article about something going on or whatever. And we were like, oh, this is interesting, but there was no way to really kind of fit it in. So we saved it for now, what is becoming our annual Hot Cauldron episode. Get it? Hot topic, hot cauldron. Yeah, stupid dad jokes.
That's what we thrive on.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a nickel for every time we've had a hot cauldron, you'd have 2 nickels.
You would. Exactly 2 nickels. But you'd be 10 toes down on that hot cauldron. So, of course, to kick things off, as always, we have Witchcraft in the News. And I'm kicking us off because, as we know, it is a sacrifice. Sadly, though, this takes us to Ghana, where Amnesty International reports that there's still no law criminalizing witchcraft accusations 6 years after Akua Dente's fatal lynching. So, Ghanaian authorities have failed in their duty, according to Amnesty International, to protect hundreds of victims of witchcraft accusations by delaying passing the Anti-Witchcraft Accusations Bill. 6 years after Akua Dente was beaten to death, which triggered nationwide outrage. So on July 23rd, 2020, 90-year-old Akua Dente, 90-year-old woman, who was accused of being a witch, was lynched to death in front of a crowd of people in her home village of Kafaba, which is in the Savannah region in northern Ghana. The two women who were seen beating Akua in a video were sentenced to only 12 years in prison in 2023 for manslaughter.
Wow.
And of course, as we know, there have been hundreds of other people, mostly women in Africa, who have been accused of witchcraft and have been forced to flee their communities into these, witch villages, essentially on the outside of town that we've reported on, which still does not save them from violence. Regularly, these villages are burnt down, attacked. The men, women, and children who have been accused of witchcraft and are hiding there are often still killed. Akua's case is just one of the heart-wrenching examples of the dire consequences of witchcraft accusations. This tragic anniversary is a stark reminder of the urgent need to prevent further atrocities and ensure that innocent lives are protected, said Lamnatu Adam, apologies on pronunciation if I got it wrong, executive director of the non-governmental organization Sangkaba, which is a partner of Amnesty International. So as we know and have reported on so many times, witchcraft accusations usually start within family or among the community, and it usually follows events like death, illness, older women living in poverty, and same thing with older men living in poverty, those with health conditions, disabilities, are at greater risk of being accused. Women who do not conform to stereotypical gender roles are also subject to being accused. They run to camps, usually overseen by religious leaders, and although they offer shelter, the living conditions are very inadequate, which Amnesty International documented in 2025's report, Branded for Life. So while the belief is protected under international, and witchcraft is protected under international law, harmful practices that stem from the belief are not, and those impacted need protection and reparation.
Absolutely.
Witchcraft accusations and related abuses infringe on a person's right to life, to security, and to non-discrimination and must be criminalized, said Lamnatu Adam. So it was the Anti-Witchcraft Accusations Bill was actually passed by Parliament in July of 2023, and the bill sought to make it illegal to accuse individuals of witchcraft and to establish protective measures and support systems for those who have been accused and provide a clear legal pathway for victims to seek justice and compensation. It was actually not signed into law by former President Nana Akufo-Addo, who cited constitutional concerns as it was introduced as a private member's bill instead of a government's own bill. Since then, no bill has been reintroduced to Parliament. The Anti-Witchcraft Accusations Bill passed in July 2023, which was a significant step toward protecting victims of witchcraft accusations. The Ghanaian authorities must no longer delay protection, justice, and reparations for those accused of witchcraft. We believe that the bill, once adopted, could significantly enhance the protection of human rights in Ghana. It will also align Ghana with international human rights standards, said Hannah Osei, interim county director of Amnesty International Ghana. So, Ghana ratified the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women, CEDAW, in 1986, and the Convention on the Rights of the Child in 1990. And both committees defined accusations of witchcraft as a harmful practice. Ashetu Maji, a resident of the Gembaga camp housing women accused of being witches, said to Amnesty International, "If we had had a bill in place when this happened to me, I would be at home right now looking after my grandchildren." Puna Nanotugma, a resident of another camp, the Kuoko camp, said, "With a bill, the government would be dealing with the accusers and preventing other people from being accused. I really hope that they will pass it." So root causes, Amnesty International says, must be addressed, which again, yes, criminalizing witchcraft accusations alone will not resolve the issue. And while some sensationalized initiatives have been conducted by NGOs and at the local government level, they are not enough to comprehensively combat stereotypes linked to witchcraft accusations. We urge the adoption of a holistic approach that addresses the root causes of the abuses, including social and economic reintegration programs, along with protection and reparations to persons who suffered abuse due to an accusation, said Hannah Osei. The government should establish a properly resourced long-term national awareness campaign challenging cultural and social practices that discriminate against women and older people, including witchcraft accusations. So for a little background, in an April 2025 report, Amnesty International documented the situation across 4 informal camps where hundreds of people accused of witchcraft, primarily older women, were living with insufficient access to health services, food, safe housing, clean water, and economic opportunities. Amnesty International gathered new testimonies of victims living in 3 camps in April and May of 2026. So a petition started by Amnesty International in November 2025 calling for the adoption of the Anti-Witchcraft Accusations Bill has already gathered nearly 19,000 signatures. And a link to the petition will be in the comment section below. So please sign it. All right.
All right.
Your turn.
My turn indeed. Okay, now I'm going to be hopping us on over to Pennsylvania.
Ooh, Pennsylvania. Is this going to involve the Amish and butter?
It is not. I mean, maybe butter. Who knows?
I love butter
Mm-hmm.
and quilts.
Me too.
Especially quilts made by the Amish. You guys make good quilts.
And if you are Amish and watching this, you probably shouldn't be.
Probably shouldn't be. Unless you're on Rumspringa, then the goddess says welcome.
Exactly. Anyway, so this story centers on Beck Ravenswood,
Okay.
who is the owner of the Serpent's Key Shop and Sanctuary in Hanover.
Ooh.
Now, unfortunately, they are in the middle of kind of a legal battle.
Okay. Yes, I think I'm familiar.
Yes. So in 1865, I believe it was, Pennsylvania passed a law banning fortune telling for profit.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, they had their shop visited recently by police threatening arrest over her card reading.
Okay. Based on this
Yes.
antique law.
Exactly. Yes. Now, they filed suit against the police.
Mhm.
And this whole legal battle has kind of been back and forth,
Mhm.
etc. since then. Now, they started sharing their story dealing with this whole situation on TikTok.
Yeah.
And I actually have followed it for at least the past few months.
Mhm.
I've been kind of following along as to what's going on. It's very, very fascinating, but also very angering,
Right.
you know? So the state recently filed a motion to dismiss the case, of course.
Of course.
However, a federal judge has now denied that motion, which
Yay.
is very exciting. This ruling allows the lawsuit to continue and move the case into its next phase,
Nice.
with a court conference scheduled for July 22nd to establish a timeline for discovery and future proceedings, which is wonderful.
Yes.
So Ravenswood said the DA's office had been trying to dismiss my case, saying it wasn't important enough for the court to rule on. Judge Wilson finally looked at the evidence and said there's a compelling argument here, and we need to determine what is really at the heart of this lawsuit. Is it about witchcraft or is it about freedom of speech? That's really what it is. So, as I said, the lawsuit stems from events in October 2023. Ravenswood said that they were threatened with arrest by the Hanover Borough Police Department for offering paid tarot readings at their own business. So Pennsylvania's fortune-telling statute, which I'm correcting myself, dates back to 1861, makes it a misdemeanor to accept payment for fortune-telling, including practices such as tarot card reading, palm reading, and astrology. It's hard out there for a Pennsylvania witch.
It is hard out there for a Pennsylvania witch. Fuck.
Yeah. So scary. So the lawsuit originally centered on that law, but Ravenswood says the case has always been about broader constitutional protections.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yes. So they said for me, the freedom of religion is certainly part of this, but primarily it's about freedom of speech.
Yes.
Because the idea that someone can come in and say, because you are using cards, you can't talk to people in your business is a really big overstep, which absolutely, yes, it is. Yep. Particularly using such a law as this that's so archaic.
It's so ridiculous.
I know. So I am very, very glad that this motion to dismiss has been denied and that the case is allowed to be moved to its next step, as it should be.
As it should be. Yay!
Yay.
Well, congrats, Bex.
Yes.
And it's a win for one is a win for us all.
Exactly.
So victory celebrated, because what happens is if she wins this, it sets precedent.
Exactly.
And once precedent is set, then that's it. Anytime this tries to happen in the future, then they can turn and say, well, in Bex v. State of Pennsylvania, federal courts, superior courts, etc., ruled that, this is an archaic, blah, blah, blah. And because of that precedent, that will then usually compel a judge to then rule moving forward in favor of that precedent.
Exactly.
So this is really
very,
good.
very
So this is a
exciting.
win
Yes,
for us all.
exactly.
All right. Back to Etsy. Where Etsy witches are now getting new customers. Desperate job seekers.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. So this comes to us from allwork.space, where they say, as AI hiring frustrates job seekers, some are turning to witchcraft for career help. So, of course, as hiring becomes more and more automated and completely unpredictable and scary and chaotic, many job seekers are now turning to career-focused witchcraft. So, social media and online marketplaces have, of course, helped fuel the interest in rituals and tarot readings, manifestation practices, and career spells, all about improving job prospects. So some job seekers are hiring Etsy witches to cast career spells for them. While few participants expect supernatural results, many think the rituals provide something increasingly difficult to find during the hiring process, which is a sense of control. So the trend comes as applicants contend with AI-powered resume screening, lengthy hiring timelines, ghosting, and intense competition for open roles. So career experts say many candidates can feel conventional job search strategies are now just delivering on diminished returns, no longer providing the next steps and the connections and the jobs that they once led to. So while tailored resumes and networking and direct outreach do remain important, they no longer guarantee an interview in increasingly crowded markets. So recent hiring data has also reflected the challenging environment, showing a growing share of recent graduates are still searching for work months after finishing school. Many career coaches are stating that after repeated rejection, many candidates begin looking for ways to regain optimism and motivation, even if those methods fall outside traditional career advice. So of course, we all know there's the psychology of ritual, vision boards, manifestation exercise, candle ritual. Experts say the appeal often lies less in magic than in psychology, that it can leave candidates feeling, job hunting can leave people feeling powerless. And so rituals can restore a sense of agency by giving applicants something proactive to do while waiting for responses. Psychologists and career advisors note that increased confidence, consistency, and optimism can positively influence networking, interviewing, and persistence, even if the ritual itself has no direct impact on hiring outcomes. Unless you do a spell, unless you're literally doing a spell for a specific job,
Right.
and you get that specific job, like, I hate when psychologists try to, or even medical doctors try. I mean, medical doctors are more apt to be like, no, I've seen like prayer, I've seen weird shit in the operating room, like I've seen crazy shit, I've seen ghosts. Like, there are more people who work in trauma, like actual hospitals, have tend to see, even if it is mental institutions, that still are, those are medical places where there's patients and people have died, shit happens, weird things happen. So in those situations, people tend to be like, yeah, I've seen some shit. But just like regular therapists and shit, a lot of times, you know, they're like, well, these are archetypes, blah, blah. We all know the inner psychological Carl Jung of it all. But whatever, fuck you. But still, there you go. Interesting that, and not surprising, that there was an uptick in, I wouldn't say an uptick in Etsy witches, because that, I would say, that, I mean, that's been happening. We know that. I would say it's more an uptick in career spells, career-related spells. Not so much that people are turning to Etsy witches, or that Etsy witches themselves are happy, because that's been a thing. And everyone's been turning to Etsy witches. If it hasn't been for job, they're already going to them for fucking prosperity, or for fucking, I don't know, to breathe underwater and be a mermaid. So it was already happening. Like, you know what I mean? So, but either way, yay. And I hope that is working out. How many of you witches watching, have you been asked to do a spell, a career spell for a loved one? Did you just recently do one? Are you contemplating having to do one, either because you're changing career goals or paths, or you are, you know, facing yourself being laid off or something, and you need to find new work, or you're just fucking tired of it? Let us know in the comments. Your turn. Back to you.
Back to me. Okay, so a new exhibition is opening up at Tate Modern, featuring the art of Ana Mendieta. who made art from blood, feathers, flowers, and sand. Very, very witchy. She was born in Cuba in 1948.
Okay.
And when the revolution came, she was sent to the U.S., where she said that she always had felt like an outsider. She said that home for her was the past. And she made her mission to excavate the very origins of art and mythology. She worked in many disciplines. She did painting, film, photography, performance, and sculpture. She also used organic matter, such as a human silhouette made of flowers.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful. A hand imprint in a muddy wasteland. She has done a fertility goddess figure carved into limestone. Her art creates a personal mythology, some say as weirdly coherent as William Blake's.
Love.
Yes. Now, if she had lived, she would have been at the forefront of the art of this century. However, in 1985, at only 36, she died falling from the balcony of her 34th floor apartment in New York.
Oh my God.
And said to be in suspicious circumstances. And the artist, Carl Andre, who was her husband, was tried for murder but was acquitted. Yeah.
Wow. Fuck. Oh my gosh. Okay. R.I.P.
Exactly. So this is a show of her works.
Yeah.
It is packed with raw, timely works, so said Chloe Ashby in The Independent. They compel us to pay attention to the natural world. Scattered throughout are pieces from her Silueta series, which began in 1973. Most of these are photographs documenting her practice of stamping human silhouettes into mud and then observing weeds and brambles as other groups rendered them invisible.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Also, a famous video of hers shows her next to a stream pouring a pail of cow's blood all over her body.
Wow.
Blood spilling from her limbs. She lies down in a mass of soft white chicken feathers.
Love.
Yes. When she stands, she is a woman transformed, part human, part bird, bizarrely and brilliantly engaged with nature. I just love so much. A lot of her work is rooted in feminism, environmentalism, and anti-colonialism, which of course all themes that still resonate very strongly today.
Yes.
Yeah, this of course is not a show about identity politics, but rather it is filled with rich visual poetry. One photograph from the same Silueta series sees a human outline half buried on a hillside with its arms clamped by its sides like an Egyptian mummy. Another sees Mendieta herself deep in a cavity in the rocks as if consumed by the wildflowers sprouting around her.
Love.
Yes. So that's a very, very exciting. Tate Modern has mounted this show until the end of the summer. So it's very exciting.
It is.
And if you are in the area, absolutely check it out. And if you do, let us know what you thought. Have you seen this? Are you going to see it?
Yeah, let us know. All right. Now, off to Vancouver Island. Where the Pagan Pride Festival returns to Campbell River.
Ooh, fun.
So the 20th annual Vancouver Island Pagan Pride Day Festival is set to return to Campbell River on August 8th, which will bring a day of community gathering and celebration. It's a free family event which runs from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it features a lineup of local musicians and performers including Cat and Cal and Massey and Patterson. Paganism is an umbrella term that encompasses a wide range of earth-honoring spiritual paths, said Mary Malinsky, Archpriestess of the Aquarian Tabernacle Church of Canada.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary. How are you? Can't wait to see you. We miss you. Though our practices may vary, we are united by values of respect, diversity, and reverence for the natural world and all its beings. Pagan Pride Day is a wonderful opportunity to come together in community and share who we are with open hearts and open minds. And speaking of Mary Malinsky, check out her fabulous shoes from the gala at the Spring Mysteries Festival this year. Obsessed, love,
Yes.
and we are obsessed and love Mary. So, love the shoes, love Mary, and hopefully we will be seeing you at GodCon. All right. So there was more. So the festival actually offers a range of activities, including rituals, workshops, and information tables. A marketplace will feature local vendors selling clothing and jewelry, as well as artwork and organic products. Visitors can also engage with various readers and healers, including astrologists, psychics, tarot readers, Reiki practitioners, and crystal therapists. In line with the event's theme of Share the Harvest, organizers are accepting cash and non-perishable food donations to support the Campbell River and District Food Bank Society. Oh, that's so wonderful. Organizers are encouraging attendees to demonstrate environmental stewardship by using public transit, cycling, walking, or carpooling to the event. So the goal of Vancouver Island Pagan Pride Day is to foster pride and pagan identities through education, activism, charity, and community, as these 4 inspirations align to the 4 elements of air, fire, water, and earth.
Love that.
Love, love, love.
And lastly, wildfires have been changing how North America thinks about its forests.
Oh.
As well as Indigenous knowledge helping to lead the way along that process, which is really great.
That is really great.
Yeah. So of course, as we know, catastrophic wildfires have been reshaping North American forest policy. Governments right now are increasingly turning to Indigenous fire stewardship while beginning to recognize that healthy forests require long-term relationships with the land, not simply an emergency response.
Yes.
So Canada's 2026 wildfire season continues to send smoke across much of North America, forcing evacuations and threatening communities from British Columbia all the way to Ontario. Many people are describing this as hazy skies, poor air quality, and the unsettling reminder that these fires are no longer a distant or regional problem. It's very much kind of exploding and becoming more consuming.
Right.
Now, policymakers on both sides of the border are confronting kind of the same question: is how do we learn to live with fire rather than simply fight it? Increasingly, government scientists as well as Indigenous leaders are reaching the same conclusion, and that is that healthy forests require more than larger firefighting budgets or faster emergency response, requiring more so long-term relationships with the land itself. Native News Online reported that this fire season has once again placed First Nations communities among those most affected, such as in northwestern Ontario, in Collins, the First Nation fled by boat after a fast-moving wildfire overwhelmed the community. It destroyed much of it in less than an hour.
Oh, God.
Yeah. The Canadian government has expanded support for Indigenous-led wildfire programs, including training Indigenous wildland firefighters, strengthening emergency preparedness, and investing in community-based fire management. So these initiatives help communities respond to immediate threats and also reflect broader shifts in thinking about how forests should be cared for before these disasters occur.
Right.
Now, for generations, of course, many Indigenous nations have practiced cultural burning, carefully managed low-intensity fires to reduce hazardous fuels, encourage biodiversity, improve wildlife habitat, and maintain healthy landscapes. These practices, unfortunately, have been often discouraged or prohibited under colonial land management policies. However, today, many fire scientists believe that approach contributed to the conditions now fueling these increasingly devastating fires.
Yeah.
So, decades of fire suppression had allowed dense undergrowth and dead vegetation to accumulate, which of course exacerbated the situation. Yeah. Now, of course, combine that with climate change and prolonged drought, and these conditions have transformed what were kind of once natural fires into these catastrophic events. No. The fire scientists, Amy Cardinal Christensen, who is the director of fire stewardship for the Indigenous Leadership Initiative, spoke about this, and she recalled the 2024 Jasper wildfire, and she said that this would never have happened if we would have been allowed to continue our cultural practices here.
Yeah.
She said our people have survived on these lands for millennia, just not with AI and things like that.
Yeah.
Which, of course, is another contributing factor.
That is data centers, yeah.
Absolutely. With AI and satellite mapping technologies not only emerging but continuing to grow and develop, that is becoming a valuable tool for detecting and responding to fires. However, it cannot replace generations of local knowledge. So, of course, that recognition of this is beginning to influence public policy, which I think is really good.
Yes.
A recent issue brief from the Bipartisan Policy Center argues that the U.S. faces 3 interconnected challenges. The first is worsening wildlife conditions, next declining forest health, and then, of course, the mounting strain on the U.S. Forest Service. Participants discussed that just restoring healthier forests will, of course, bring and require sustained investment, expanded prescribed burning, stronger partnerships with communities, and just better long-term stewardship than just relying primarily on emergency suppression with these fires. Indigenous stewardship, rooted in place-based knowledge, offers insights that extend beyond emergency response, such as, again, like I mentioned, cultural burning. Now, as policymakers are rethinking their forest management, that knowledge is being increasingly recognized not simply as cultural tradition, but as an important part of modern conservation and climate resilience, which I think is great. So for more than a century, governments largely viewed wildfire as an enemy to be eliminated, which of course was never going to happen.
No.
However, today, definitely with the conversations that have been ongoing between policymakers and the indigenous communities.
Well, and then there's Trump now wanting to impose a 500% tariff on Canada for wildfire smoke.
Yes. Oh my gosh. That. So fun.
Even though we produce plenty of our own, that drifts to them.
Exactly.
And to Mexico. Like, okay.
I know. He's
such an idiot. Such a fucking
idiot. Such an idiot. However, the good part of all of this is it's leading to policymakers and indigenous populations kind of talking and interacting with each other for the first time in a while. And kind of like coming together to figure out like how to best address and solve this issue. And I like that the policymakers are now listening to what the indigenous people have to say rather than just suppressing and dismissing the considerable knowledge and expertise that they have.
Yes.
So hopefully this continues to rebuild not only cultural relationships, but also the forests themselves.
Agreed.
So that's exciting.
Well, thank you for that.
You're
and
welcome.
Wildfires, they suck, obviously. Like there's a lot of damage they do, but there's also so much like regrowth and fertileness that happens after the fact.
Yes.
And they're also just natural. You can't get away from them.
Exactly.
There's forest. If there's sun, if there's heat, if there's dry, things dry, they die. Lightning storms happen. Fire happens.
Right.
Whether we're throwing a cigarette butt out or not, it's going to happen. You can't stop it.
No.
You can't declare a war on forest fires. Because you'll never win it.
No. Is there going to be a forest fire delegate?
Right.
Who are they sending?
I know. Let's see that. Let's see that convoy.
Right.
All right. Now it is time for our main topic: Hot Cauldron.
Oh, ow!
All the witchcraft news and interesting subjects that we just couldn't talk about this season. So I'm going to start us off with a piece that I had thought was really interesting. Does the devil exist? The Vatican newspaper unnecessarily suggests that he does not. A controversy in the Catholic world in the middle of summer. So, a theological debate has erupted following the publication of the latest issue of Done Chiesa Mondo, the monthly supplement of La Osservatore Romano, after several contributors examined the nature of evil in ways that critics say blur the Catholic Church's long-standing teachings on the personal existence of Satan. The controversy centers on issue number 157, which was released on July 1st, under the theme, The Devil Within Us. While the edition explores evil through biblical, psychological, cultural, and social perspectives, its overall approach has prompted questions about whether it adequately reflects Catholic doctrine on one of Christianity's most fundamental spiritual realities. So first right there, this is not the first time the Catholic Church has taken, the Vatican has taken a stance of, well, Satan is metaphorical.
Right.
Famously, you go back to before The Exorcist came out, there's that moment with Rosemary's Baby, which, if for those of you who aren't sure, this came out, Rosemary's Baby was released before The Exorcist. But there's the famous scene where Mia Farrow's character is sitting in the waiting room, and there's that famous Time magazine cover of "Is God Dead?" or "God is Dead?" question mark, and it was black, and there you go. So one of the main reasons that was out was because they were talking about like the interest in the occult and shit that was happening amongst the youth and drug experimentation, blah, blah, blah. But also, even the Catholic Church had a very, like, kind of official stance, and they even say it in The Exorcist, where they say the church doesn't really believe in a literal Satan. So this is not the first time.
No.
Okay. So much of the discussion has focused on an essay by Italian New Testament scholar Marinella Perroni, which was titled "The Serpent, the Woman, and the Fruit, and Satan?" ? And in it, Perroni argues that the account of humanity's fall in Genesis does not explicitly identify the serpent with the devil. This is very true. She notes that the association between the serpent of Genesis 3 and Satan emerged progressively within later Jewish tradition before being fully developed in Christian interpretation, which is very, very true. From a historical and exegetical perspective, this observation is widely recognized by biblical scholars. The book of Genesis itself never names the serpent as Satan, and the explicit identification appears later in biblical Revelation, most notably in the book of Revelation, where the ancient serpent is identified with the devil. Perroni also traces the development of Jewish demonology to later historical periods influenced by the religious cultures of the ancient Near East and the Hellenistic world, which is very true.
Yeah.
Her essay further argued that the other interpretations of Genesis contributed to linking women's sin and the devil within a patriarchal framework that shaped Christian thought over the centuries. Other pieces in the issue continued the same general exploration from psychological and cultural perspectives. So Italian author Dacia Marini, reflected on evil as rooted in the human heart, while additional contributors examined experiences commonly described as the devil through the lenses of guilt, emotional wounds, personal trauma, and social pressures. So for many readers, the principal concern lies less in what the contributors affirm than in what they leave unsaid. So critics argued that the edition gives considerable attention to symbolic and psychological interpretations while offering little reference to the church's authoritative teachings on Satan as a real personal being. Now they go that Catholic doctrine on this point has remained remarkably consistent. No, it has not. So the Fourth Lateran Council in 1215 taught that the devil and the other demons were created good by God, but became evil through their own free choice. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, particularly paragraph 391 through 395, presents Satan as a fallen angel rather than a metaphor for evil. And more recently, St. Paul VI warned in a 1972 general audience that denying the existence of the devil departs from biblical and ecclesiastical teaching, while Pope Francis repeatedly emphasized throughout his pontificate that Christians face not merely abstract evil, but the action of a personal spiritual adversary. So, of course, this publication's treatment has drawn attention because Don Chiasemondo appears under the banner of La Osservatore Romano, which is the Holy See's newspaper. And although the supplement maintains editorial independence and does not exercise magisterial authority, its association with the Vatican inevitably has many readers assuming that its content broadly reflects contemporary Catholic thought. So this discussion also illustrates broader challenges facing Catholic biblical scholarship. Modern ecclesiasticals frequently distinguish between the historical development of biblical texts and later doctrinal formulations. And while the Church insists that sacred scripture must ultimately be interpreted within the living tradition and the magisterium, for Catholic theology, historical critical analysis and doctrinal teaching are not meant to contradict one another, but to illuminate different dimensions of divine revelation. The debate surrounding the latest issue extends well beyond one author's interpretation of Genesis. It touches this particular article I'm reading from, that we're going to then be talking about, is pro-Catholic. So just so you know, so that's just where this is coming from. So it touches on a larger question confronting contemporary theology: how biblical scholarship, historical research, and pastoral reflection can engage modern readers without obscure doctrines that the Church has consistently regarded as essential to the Christian faith. Okay. So, let's talk about this. So, First and foremost, like we said there, this is not the first time that the Catholic Church, especially when it came to exorcisms and requesting exorcists, the Catholic Church for a long time was like, what the fuck, exorcists? No. And the devil is more of a metaphorical, symbolic, our own personal shit, our own, than an actual physical being in hell.
Right.
Now, of course, they did have gotten back to that.
Yes.
And exorcism school has been blowing up for over a decade now. But this isn't the first time that the Church in any capacity, which also this said that it doesn't even have, it's editorially independent.
Right.
From the Romano.
Yes.
So it just doesn't make sense to me. But like, does the devil exist? Which one?
Right.
Like, there are many dark, as we know as witches,
Yes.
there are many dark and even, yes, downright evil, malevolent deities, beings, higher powers, etc., demonic kingdoms, etc. We all know that exists. So, like, which one are you talking about? But this idea that they need to hold on to this literal adversarial enemy who influences everything,
Yes.
I think is so ridiculous. But what I find fascinating is that they are now having a discussion about this.
Yes.
That the Catholic Church is now coming together in 2026 and having to almost kind of contend with this idea of, well, do we believe in a literal Satan?
Exactly.
Because how many Catholics out there may be like, you know what? In my day-to-day, haven't really given the devil much thought.
Right.
Like, I go to mass, like,
Yeah.
I pray, like,
Right.
but in my day, and then they're going to sit there and say, well, do I? And there may be a good portion who come out and say, no,
I don't.
I don't believe that there is a literal supreme devil with, however they're seeing him, Dark Lord,
Right.
who is doing all this crazy shit, who literally on a planet of billions and billions and billions of people wants to take time out of his day to fuck with my little life,
Right.
in some small little village or podunk town in some state or some other country or whatever. Like, when you are not a person of influence or power.
No.
Like, why? Just why? There's no reason for it.
No.
Like, at least in the context of things like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, or
Right.
Sabrina, or Charmed, whatever, and there's like evil is involved. Well, that's because these supreme super good guys are in this town or whatever. Like, there's a reason you go, oh, well, that would make sense that maybe the supreme being who apparently has influence on every single, would take their time out to bother me in some shit podunk mining town in Massachusetts, Maine, Virginia, Pennsylvania, whatever the fuck. Like, you know what? That would make sense. Oh, the Hellmouth is in Sunnydale, California.
Right.
Buffy's there. It makes sense that, like, big evil would be there. Yeah.
Like
that, and then, oh, his supreme adversary on Earth who could stop him is also in this town. Yeah, that would make sense that then that being, that big bad for that season or that show's entire run would be sending, like, villains of the week to stop them, to get them. Like, that would make sense. Like, in Power Rangers, fucking Rita's, or Zordon's temple and shit is in fucking Angel Grove.
Right.
Like, okay. But because of that, there's the whole thing with Rita getting out of her fucking space dumpster and fucking all this shit and attacking little Angel Grove, California.
Right.
Okay. Well, why? Because her nemesis Zordon's fucking temple is in Angel Grove. Like, it's just, you're like, that makes sense. It's stupid, but okay, it makes sense. But otherwise, wouldn't you be trying to, like, I don't know, possess the president or a king or something?
Exactly.
And maybe they have, I don't know. So,
I mean, I feel like, honestly, the plot of the Omen movies, like, that makes sense.
That makes way more sense than this idea, this concept of there is a literal devil who, like, wants to fuck with, Sharon Thompson of Erie, Indiana.
Right.
And make her life a living hell and torment her and waste so much time and energy focused on this one random person in Erie, Indiana, who literally is like, I don't know,
a bank teller
and has no influence or power and in a broader sense on anything in the world. I just know. But but there's a need for Christians to hold on to this.
It's true, because taking it back to the OG Christianity, and then all the way through to the present date, like, they really thrive on their martyrdom.
They do. They need it. They fucking need it. And I love that, like, the fucking books of the Bible were written, like, in such a way, like, these grifters knew what the fuck they were doing. Like, when they wrote the books, like Mark, Paul, John, etc. They were fucking grifters. Like, they knew what they were doing because they wrote their shit. Like, oh, you will always be persecuted for being a Christian. Like, it'll always, like, Christian, you will always face blah blah blah, right? And they always quote that and go to that. Well, how easy if you write it vague enough.
Right.
then you're like, well, there you go. This is something that then can just be recycled and used over and over and over again, because it's so vague that it's not written a way of like, which, I mean, I will actually say it is written that he's speaking to people. So therefore, why are you not talking about it in the context of the time when Christians were cults that were being, were being martyred, like, were being killed, like, when Christians were being persecuted, in that sense of time, in that time frame, that would make sense that you're telling these people, like, you are going to be persecuted for your faith. You are going to, you need to be a martyr and stand tall and firm. Of course, you're telling people that in the midst of the growth of this religion. But when you word it in a way that you can also take it out of its historical context and frame of time, then you can just be like, oh, this will always be and never end. It'll always be and never end. It'll always be. Like,
no, Sharon from Wells Fargo, you are not still being persecuted.
No.
In Scranton, Pennsylvania.
No. And you, Marjorie Jean in Mobile, Alabama, who is on Social Security and fucking EBT and fucking Medicaid, Medicare, and fucking living in a shithole trailer, you are not possessed by Beelzebub. You have no influence or power. Like, what is some demon king of hell wanting to do with you and your type 2 diabetes and obesity and the fact that you can't even, like, fucking leave your town because you take public transportation? Like, why are you the focus? Why? Like, really, why? But that question's never asked. We watched the footage of how many people getting delivered from demons, right?
Yes.
Like, all the time you see where they're just lining up in these churches. They're just like in a row and they're getting delivered from demons. So demons are just like possessing every other person in every town in the United States and beyond, really. Like, because this is something that, let's be clear, this whole mass exorcist training, exorcist interest, blah, 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 started in America. It is uniquely American that over the decades has then, through the Satanic Panic and everything else, has had a chance to then spread and be taken more literally, more seriously by people in other countries as time has moved on, especially in impoverished and third world and second world countries and in indigenous places where Christian missionaries and Catholic missionaries have come in and done swaths of conversions and manipulations, including being like, well, if you want these goods and services, if you want your kid to go to school, if you want fucking food delivered to your home like your neighbors, then you need to leave your indigenous practices and fucking accept Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior and be baptized, christened, etc., and then we will give you the suit. We'll give you the education. We'll give you the housing, the shelter. We'll give you the new clothes. That is, which is in itself its own evil. And let's be clear, the people, I really kind of think Christians need the devil, a physical devil. You need a literal, real, singular, supreme king devil, because it absolves them constantly of their own crimes.
Exactly.
Because let's be clear, the church has not officially apologized for the witch trials.
No.
They have not formally apologized for the Inquisition in any real meaningful way. They have not formally apologized for colonization, for the destruction of indigenous cultures throughout the world, and they're still actively doing it, for enslavement, all the shit that they've done. They have issued no apologies. There are no reparations. There are no atonements, because they don't give a shit. And I think it's because they know that they're fucked up. They know that the Christian faith, that the entire Judeo-Christian system, the entire Judeo-Islamic Christian system, the Abrahamic system, is drenched in blood. So much fucking blood. And yes, there was a time when the pagans did persecute the new cult of Christianity. Yes. There was a time, let's be clear, there was a time when, yes, other pagan faiths fought each other, like fucking all this shit. But when the Christian church was born and took hold, they looked at what happened in their beginnings and said, hold our pitchforks, torture devices, fucking nooses, swords, cannonballs, etc., because we are going to bring about an epic wave of revelation, repentance, destruction, and fucking cleansing heavenly fire that you all have never seen. And that is exactly what proceeded for the next several hundred years to today.
Yep.
Let us be very clear. The Abrahamic faith, the Abrahamic one God, is a warmongering, nasty, bloodthirsty, disgusting warring mountain god who has just been praised and fed and manipulated and played so many fucking people that now he has engorged on power, and that power is steeped in fucking division. Christianity especially is built on division. All the Abrahamic faiths are actually built on division. Yes, they'll have passages in the Quran, in the Talmud, passages in the Bible that are like, love your neighbor, do this, do that. And then the next breath, it's smite this person, smite that person. They say love and charity, and they do create charities and food banks and shelters and all that shit. And they kill. And they pass laws that strip sovereignty and autonomy and civil rights and dignities from other people. Forced conversions, missionary trips to other countries with pagan indigenous practices and force them into conversions in exchange for simple goods and services that they're claiming to bring them to help better their lives. Dental care, medical care, often denied until Jesus Christ is accepted as their Lord and Savior. So this is a practice that continues. And you have countries, and unfortunately, in the Islamic faith, also preaching of violence. In Judaism, I mean, look at the Zionist ideology, the Zionist idea, the Jesus promise, the God promise of Israel, and greater Israel, and the lands of Judea, and all this shit, blah, blah, blah. You know, ignoring the goddess Ashra, ignoring Kibali, ignoring HEKA-TEA, ignoring Inanna Ishtar, ignoring the Palestinians, ignoring all the other Canaanites in the region. Like, they know this. They know that their religion does shitty shit. And so they need a literal Satan. They need a literal devil, supreme God, who is the supremest bad of the evils, and anything against Christianity, any religion, any faith, sexuality, gender identity, anything outside of their idea, they can say comes from this big supreme evil, and they are either all lost or willing agents of this evil, and therefore we are absolved of anything and everything we have ever done, including molesting children. Why? Because you can blame it on the devil. The devil made me do it. And then what happens? We just move that pastor, that priest, that preacher, that bishop, whatever, to another parish, congregation, community, church, state, etc. Or it's buried and they're allowed to just get the fuck out of Dodge and start again. So, like, I think it's fascinating as fuck that they are now having this dialogue about the existence. Very interesting. And I think it's great. Honestly, I think it's fucking great.
I think it's honestly a conversation that needs to happen if their faith is ever going to do any form of evolution.
And do any real lasting good.
Yes.
You need to contend with your devil and look at, as the article states, you need to look at the devil within us.
I mean, and just like the wildfires, it's not a foe to be vanquished. It is something that is intrinsic and needs to be lived with.
Yeah. There's a reason why us witches preach about shadow work, babes.
Yep.
So, what do you guys think on the Catholic Church's kind of sudden, I don't know, splintering or debate happening between or within amongst themselves now in terms of, well, the nature of the devil and where do we stand on his existence? And what are you thinking? How many, in terms of the Catholic population, do you think may be like, oh, I don't actually believe in a literal devil? Let us know in the comments.
Absolutely.
Next topic from the cauldron.
Fresh meat. Anyway. This story comes out of our very own area.
Oh. No, I think I know which one this is.
Yes. So there was a legitimate case of fortune teller fraud that happened recently in Seattle. These people came from Texas, so they are not Washington residents themselves.
Of course. Okay.
But their crimes happened in Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So they were arrested in an alleged psychic fraud scheme that took at least $2.5 million from 3 victims.
Oh my God.
Yes, including one single Washington resident who sent more than $2 million. So of that $2.5 million,
$2 million of it came from this
one
person in Washington State.
Yes. So Bridget Doreen Evans, who is 47,
Okay.
and her husband Vinny John Uwanowicz, 44, both of Frisco, Texas,
Okay.
were arrested this week, and an indictment was filed in the Western District of Washington. No, they face 1 count of conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, 4 counts of wire fraud, and 4 counts of mail fraud. Federal prosecutors say that Evans used a fake identity to advertise psychic services on social media and attract people dealing with divorce, the death of a loved one, romantic problems, or feelings of isolation.
Okay.
She allegedly told victims that she could perform readings and rituals to identify the cause of their misfortune, but then claimed that their problems were caused by curses connected to their money or finances.
Okay.
So after learning about the victims' financial holdings, she allegedly persuaded them to liquidate their accounts and send her cash, as well as gold coins and other valuables so that she could cleanse the property. She promised the money and valuables would be returned once the process was complete.
People bought this?
Yeah, some small amounts were returned to gain the victim's trust.
Of course.
Right. However, the prosecutors alleged that the defendants kept most of the money and property.
Of course they did.
So the first assistant U.S. attorney, Charles Neal Floyd, said, as alleged in the indictment, these perpetrators of fortune teller fraud came into the lives of these victims at a time when their judgment was clouded by emotional loss and feelings of hopelessness. Ms. Evans preyed upon their needs, convincing victims that she could remove a curse and help them find love. In truth, her scheme was simply to help herself to their wealth, leaving them further devastated. So this alleged scheme occurred from April 2021 through July 2024.
It's like 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
One Washington victim was persuaded to liquidate multiple accounts and wire more than $2.1 million to gold shops in Florida.
Oh my God.
I know. Evans allegedly instructed the victim to either mail or personally deliver the gold coins to her and others involved in the scheme. The same victim was also persuaded to sell her home.
What?
And use the proceeds to purchase additional gold to send them.
What? What?
Apparently, Evans convinced her to accept a lump sum divorce settlement instead of monthly payments by claiming that the money was connected to, quote, bad energy.
What?
A second victim sent more than $86,000 for Evans' purported cleansing work, according to the Justice Department. And then the third victim lost more than $258,000 after Evans allegedly convinced her to take out loans to purchase a Corvette and give Evans access to credit cards to pay off the victim's supposed karmic debts. The indictment says that the victim borrowed more than...
oh my God. Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
No, keep going. Oh my God, I'm gonna die.
I know. So it says that she borrowed more than $100,000 towards a $125,000 Chevy Corvette that was delivered to Evans in Florida.
Oh my God.
I know. Credit cards were allegedly used for luxury goods, hotels, vacations, airline tickets, gold coins, and jewelry. Prosecutors...
Oh my God.
Yes, I know, it's crazy. Apparently, Uwanowicz, her husband, helped carry out the scheme by managing bank accounts that received the payments, selling gold coins, transferring and spending proceeds, and vouching for Evans with the victims.
Oh my God.
A Cash App account registered in his name received more than $250,000 just between June 2022 and December 2023. according to the indictment. Apparently more than $119,000 was transferred from the account to his personal bank accounts. The Justice Department said that she used the fake identity because she had previously been convicted in psychic fraud cases in both Florida and Texas.
Oh my goddess.
Now, the cherry on top of this, I think, is that for part of this time period when the scheme was ongoing, Evans was incarcerated in Florida. Apparently, her husband and other participants continued communicating with victims while posing as, and this part is so funny, but the fake name that she gave was Jolene.
Jolene?
Because of course it was.
Jolene. Okay, we don't want to copyright strike, so we'll stop there.
So claiming that she was unavailable, working at an altar or communicating with angels. Yeah, she was unavailable because she was in jail. So the FBI is continuing to investigate and asking anyone who believes that they may have been a victim of them to file a report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So terrible.
Terrible.
But y'all are fucking stupid, and I kind of think they deserve the money. Like, you're that stupid. Really? A Corvette? Like, people... I don't care. I have been drowning in grief in my life. I have been in the pits. I have been homeless. I have been in situations. But if someone was like, no matter how deep my shit, if someone's like, liquidate your accounts, sell your house, I'll be like, no. And I'm sorry if anyone's like, send me all of your money. I'm going to cleanse it and send it back to you. Everything in my body and in my head would be like, girl, do not do this. No, bitch, stop it. Like, I'm sorry. If you're that stupid, you're that stupid. You deserve to have your money taken from you. Like, it's terrible, but fuck, you bought her a Corvette? Did you want the Corvette?
Right.
Do you think she wanted the Corvette?
I don't think so.
So why, like, if someone was like, and they were like, I need you to go buy a Corvette, because I need you to ship it to me.
So that I can
cleanse this Corvette. With the keys, mind you, because I need to drive it to the cleansing station. But I need to cleanse the keys, so I need the whole thing shipped to me, a Corvette. And then I'm going to drive it back to you or pay to ship it back to you. Like, bitch, I'm never seeing that car again. And I would know that. I'd be like, no, I don't need to buy a Corvette. You were having money troubles?
So you
bought a Corvette? You're having money troubles, so you're like, yes, let me cash my shit out and convert it to gold and send it to you. And it wasn't just like, send it all, convert it to gold so it'll be easier to ship, and then, or whatever. No, there were still wire transfers. There were still electronic funds being transferred. And then there was also the additional selling of jewelry, items, personal belongings, house, and then converting the funds into gold coins and shipping that. Bitch. You deserve to have your stuff stolen from you. You're stupid.
Yes. Oh my God. You know, it actually reminds me of this documentary I was watching recently. And it's about this lady who she was married to this dude. And later, much later in the marriage, she finds out that he was robbing banks.
Ooh.
Now, for much of this criminal activity situation, she had no idea what was going on.
Sure.
Right? But she describes this occasion where he, for several years, was just acting really weird and agitated all the time, and he used to not be like that, blah blah blah. So she was just kind of had never any idea what had really changed.
Yeah.
So he takes her on this trip to Manhattan, right? Pays for everything in cash. They eat at very expensive restaurants, blah 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 blah, all in cash. And she said on the documentary that it seemed like he could not spend the money fast enough.
Right.
And she still is not thinking anything is weird. And then, of course, he gets caught for robbing these banks. The police tell her what's going on.
Right.
And she still doesn't believe it. Even after this New York trip and all of this stuff, she still is like, oh, I just thought he was having a good week at work. Girl. I can't.
It's this, need to not see it.
Mm-hmm.
And But I'm trying now. When you say, like, when you go to that, right? Like, oh, they're trying not to see it. You can excuse that, like, when you go to people in grief and they go to, like, a psychic for connection with a dead relative, right? And they get wrapped into things, and yeah, maybe they are, like, conned into, like, paying out a lot of money to contact this person, right? But that's not what we're talking about in this.
No.
A lot of this was, like, it all ended up being like, oh, we're coming to, but there's curses related to your finances.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I can see being like, oh shit, like, I'm super sad. But if a bitch is like, I need you to sell your house.
Right.
I need you to buy a Corvette. You must get gold coins. You must liquidate all of your assets. You must send me everything in your bank account so I can cleanse it and send it back to you. No amount of, like, trauma, grief, or anything would prevent the red flags and the sirens and the this is not feeling right
exactly like
going on in my body.
I promise you, the first thing that I would say, even if I was like partially buying them on the thing, I would say to them, oh no, like I'll come to you. You can cleanse my money in front of me.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to take part in the ritual.
Yeah, I want to be part of it. Like the fact that you're like, oh, I was just we were so I sent them $2.1 million.
Right.
Like, I'm sorry, you deserve to have that taken. You did. I don't know. I'm trying to have sympathy, and it's like, oh, con, blah, blah, blah. But, like,
yeah.
I feel like, and I have been catfished. I have been catfished by a guy once. Like, and I don't even know if it was a guy. Like, I don't know. But, I mean, that's how it presented. But I was catfished by a dude. But there was a point when it got into my head that I was like, I was like, well, we're only like emailing, and it's like pictures being sent. This is all in the days of OkCupid,
oh, yeah,
and Plenty of Fish, like way back, it was like 2009 and early 2010. And I was like, something just didn't feel right. Mm-hmm. And part of it was because the guy was super, super hot. Not to say I'm an Ugbo, but like he was like out of there was no, like, no way. Like this dude would be like, wow, you're the kind of guy I want to date. Right. Like I've been with hot dudes. Like, again, don't get me wrong. Like, I've been with many an attractive man. Men find me very attractive and cute. But this guy, I was even aware of. I was like, this guy's out of my league.
It's like model.
It was like a model. And he was like a model. And so it was just, there was a lot of questionable things. And I was like, and I had sirens going off very quickly. I was just like, this is not real. This is not real. And so there's always, and we've all been in other situations where something just seems not correct.
Right.
But by what we're being asked for, something just does not feel right and does not feel correct. And I think when it comes to this shit, though, of like exorbitant amounts of money, I don't know. I'm just like, you're telling me that you had no fucking Will Robinson danger happening at any point.
Right.
Like, it just, you were that, like, really? If you literally had no warnings, I don't care what the fuck. You literally like, let me go buy a Corvette. Let me go sell my home. You deserve it. You deserved it. That's my opinion. Like, and shame on the Evans. And I love, Agatha Christie. We need to talk about Evans. But
Angeline. I'm begging of you, please don't take my Corvette.
But also fuck them, because this hurts us. And look at the Bex Ravenwood situation.
Exactly. Like,
this could possibly be used, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
I'm sure it will. Yeah, like. And it's so few and far between that we run across cases where it legitimately is fraud.
Yeah.
But always those cases are returned to, especially if it's like a high profile situation like this.
Mm-hmm.
And that can negatively impact the legitimate witchy creators and shop owners who are being actually persecuted.
Yeah, exactly. So honestly, fuck everyone here. And for you who live here in Washington, you and your husband who gave $2.1 million, I really hope this is not your home state. I really, really hope you are not from here. Because if you are from here, you are an embarrassment to the Pacific Northwest, and you get the fuck out. Like, like, oh my God, idiots. You are idiots. I fucking, idiots.
And specifically, this happened in King County. I don't know if it was Seattle specifically, but it was definitely King County.
You know what would make me really happy, though?
Right.
Is if they were like from like Bellevue,
right?
Or like, like how funny, like, and then of course on the $2.1 million, like, or Mercer Island or something, right. And then they're like, oh yeah, or Queen Anne, and you're like, oh yeah, haha, like,
I know. the whole situation is like absurd. The more that you
absurd. Like as you kept going, I was just like, not at one point at all. There wasn't a stop.
Right?
Don't do it. Call the FBI. This is like fucked up. Like, oh, no, I'm gonna send a couple of that. No, I'm gonna send 2.1 million. No, I'm gonna sell my house. Like, what? I'm gonna buy gold doubloons. The minute someone was like, turn it into gold, I would be like, oh, I'm not Rumpelstiltskin. And I do not have the Philosopher's Stone. And
I can't lay a magic egg.
I can't lay a magic egg. I am not a pirate. Fuck you. Like, you are clearly this is not legit. You're asking me to turn shit into gold coins? Like, no, this is not. At that point alone.
Oh my gosh. Awesome.
And it just pisses me off that this is what happens, because all it does is continue to feed the persecution of legitimate witch, psychic, etc. occult business owners.
Exactly.
Now I need some beverage. Okay. My next thing up that has grated on me.
Oh god. I know what you're gonna say.
And that's this trend of people just making up shit and creating their own shit about deities, about work with deities, claiming certain rituals, spells, practices, etc. belong to those deities or are part of the mysteries of these deities, even this deity or that deity or this practice, that practice, when it's not. In a prime example, this popped up one morning. I was, on top of that, I was like, I had like food poisoning or something. I just remember I was just in the bathroom early before dawn, and it was not a pretty situation. It was definitely a danger of a double dragon situation, if you know what I catch my drift. Mm-hmm. And then I'm reading the news on my phone, and an ad pops up, because, you know, tailored ads, right. We get them and everything. And one of them is for this thing that says, order the Witch Blood Cult by Edgar Kervel now. And I was like, what is the Witch Blood Cult? So I click on it. And it reveals it all to me. So it says, order the Witch Blood Cult by legendary author Edgar Kervel, which I have never heard of him.
No.
So, but okay. But it says The Witch Blood Cult by Edgar Kervel, a hardcore grimoire of the triple goddess HEKA-TEA for self-initiation in her ancient cult of adepts. How to ignite the black torch of the goddess. And I was like, what? Witch Blood? Okay. So then it goes on. In the Witch Blood Cult, a grimoire of HEKA-TEA, the triple goddess, you'll learn the rite of HEKA-TEA. This is HEKA-TE, which of course always grates on me, but whatever. The rites of HEKA-TEA and spirits of the dead to commune with your ancestral lineage. HEKA-TEA's art of communicating with the dead to receive direct guidance from the deceased. Sex magic of the triple goddess to harness her orgasmic power and possession rights.
Oh no.
Even though she is famously a virgin maiden and never really has had a big focus on sex, period, and has always been known as Kore, but that's okay, whatever.
Sure.
The dark art of HEKA-TEA divination to awaken vision, prophecy, and intuitive mastery. I mean, I have the Oracle of HEKA-TEA and it works great, so I'm not really sure. The Secret Garden of HEKA-TEA to work with sacred plants for healing, protection, and wealth magic. How to evoke the masks of the infernal goddess for initiation into HEKA-TEA's threefold current. The Black Torch of the Underworld rite to illuminate hidden knowledge and dissolve illusion. The Witch Blood Cult. Pathworking to activate lineage, gnosis, and the living gnosis of HEKA-TEA. Order the Witch Blood Cult by legendary author Edward Kervel right now. Then it comes with quite a please buy me. Dear friend, enter the ancient Witch Blood Cult of HEKA-TEA, the triple goddess, where the crossroads emerge and the infernal empire opens to you, the initiate. The Witch Blood Cult transmits gnosis to call forth the Queen of Witches, rites of the Black Flame for infernal alchemy, and necromantic gateways for you to commune with ancestral and underworld spirits. Through sacred plants, dream states, divination trances, evocation rituals, and lunar cycles, you learn to travel between the spirit and chthonic worlds, wielding the torch and key of HEKA-TEA's queendom. At the heart of her work lies the Witch Blood Cult. the direct transmission of forbidden power through ritual initiation and goddess possession. Erotic magic, gnosis, and spirit communion fuel the inner fire and accelerate your ascent. In her threefold form, HEKA-TEA shepherds the path to heightened vision, gnosis, and self-deification. How many times can you say gnosis?
They say gnosis, I say, oh, gnosis.
And self-deification, awakening forces that reshape both yourself and the world around you. How to perform unholy necromancy. Why is it unholy? Necromancy isn't unholy. There's nothing unholy about necromancy.
No.
How to perform unholy necromancy for communion with the dead between worlds. Through the rite of HEKA-TEA and spirits of the dead, you enter the liminal gates where life and death dissolve into a single current of awareness. Guided by HEKA-TEA as psychopomp and queen of the crossroads, the veil thins, and the voices of ancestral and underworld intelligences emerge with clarity and force. These are not passive visions. Oh no. No. But living transmissions, direct, what's the word? Gnosis! Carried through shadow, dream, and ritual flame. You learn to stand at the threshold, commanding presence within the necromantic current, where spirits answer, reveal, and instruct. HEKA-TEA's art of communicating with the dead refines this contact into a precise and repeatable magical science. Through invocation, trance, and sacred alignment with her infernal domain.
How many times can you use infernal as well?
Jesus Christ. Do you receive... This is dripping with so much like Christian influence. It's not even funny. You receive guidance from beyond the visible world. Message is carried through symbols, voices, and possession states that confirm the reality of the unseen. This is the awakening of true communion. The ability to traverse the underworld pathways with authority, drawing wisdom from the dead and returning empowered, initiated, and transformed. Harness the sexual magic of the triple goddess to ignite your lifelong infernal ascent. The sexual magic of HEKA-TEA.
Oh my.
Unveils the fusion of primal forces as life and death, order and chaos converge into a single, ecstatic force of creation. Through ritualized union and magical intention, you channel the deepest lunar and chthonic energies of the goddess, igniting the inner fire that fuels manifestation and transformation in your life. This is the sacred alchemy of opposites, where masculine and feminine, light and shadow, dissolve into a combined force of ascendant power. Within her current, ecstasy becomes gnosis, and your body itself becomes the temple of initiation. You learn to direct sexual energy as a precise instrument of will, opening gateways, empowering rituals, and entering heightened states of consciousness, where HEKA-TEA's presence is felt intimately and directly. This is not abstraction, but embodied ascent, a path where desire, spirit, and infernal flame converge to awaken the deepest layers of power within you. Is this not tantric sex magic?
Literally.
Isn't this not Kundalini energy? And manifestation of the Kundalini and using it as creative force and manifestation and will through tantric sex magic, which is an Eastern practice, which HEKA-TEA is from the East, but this is specifically an Eastern Vedic Hindic practice. Why do I smell a certain scent of a certain brand of pagan appropriation? Learn the ancient secrets of plant sorcery from the dark goddess of witchcraft. The magical garden of HEKA-TEA reveals the green mysteries of the goddess, where sacred and poisonous plants become vessels of her power, bridging the forces of healing and destruction through herbs such as belladonna, mandrake, aconite, and many more. You engage with the dual current of life and death encoded within the natural world. Each plant becomes an ally, a conduit of sorcery, and a living embodiment of HEKA-TEA's dominion over both the chthonic world and the underworld. Within this enchanted space, you cultivate more than a garden. You cultivate a field of power. Rituals of planting, tending, and harvesting become acts of invocation, aligning you with the cycles of nature and the deeper rhythms of the underworld. Here, the boundaries between the material and spiritual dissolve, and the garden itself becomes a temple of working, an active site of protection, manifestation, and communion with the forces of the spirit world. Let the black torch of the goddess open your third eye to visionary divination on your soul journey of ascent. Oh, this feels so Scientology.
It does.
The bridge. The dark art of HEKA-TEA divination awakens your inner sight, opening pathways of prophecy, dream, and vision that extend beyond ordinary perception. Through oracular practices, trance states, and symbolic systems, you learn to read the hidden currents that govern fate and transformation. HEKA-TEA, as Mistress of Thresholds, grants access to these streams of knowledge that reveal patterns, futures, and truths concealed from physical view. The black torch of the underworld serves as your guiding flame through these revelations. It is a fierce, illuminating force that exposes illusion and unveils the deeper structures of existence. This black torch is not gentle light, but infernal fire. A current that burns away the false self and clarifies perception of the laws of the unseen worlds. Become an initiate in the witch blood cult and an adept of HEKA-TEA magic. Behold, the summit of the HEKA-TEA path, the witch blood cult. The transmission of lineage, power, and sacred gnosis carried across generations of devotees bound to HEKA-TEA's current. You do not enter as an isolated practitioner, but as one who steps into her ancient path, inherited through the shedding of blood, linking you to those who have walked the same precise crossroads before you. This is a timeless chain of the will of the goddess. Goddess? Where the knowledge of the cult is preserved, strengthened, and passed onward through direct experience and communion with the goddess.
Oh no.
The tablet of the witch blood cult of HEKA-TEA. So these are the chapter headings.
Okay.
In the Shadow of the Triple Goddess, Introduction, page 7. Chapter 1, The Dark Goddess of Sacred Tombs. Chapter 2, The Magical Garden of HEKA-TEA. Chapter 3, HEKA-TEA and the Spirit of Liberation. Chapter 4, The Path of Sacred Mysteries. Chapter 5, The Black Torch of the Underworld. Chapter 6, Evoking the Infernal Fire. Chapter 7, The Witch Blood Cult of HEKA-TEA. Chapter 8, Evoking the Masks of the Infernal Goddess. Chapter 9, Mother of Witchcraft and Magic. Chapter 10, HEKA-TEA, the Dark Goddess of Poison Plants. Chapter 11, Sexual Magic of HEKA-TEA, the Feminine and Sacred Union. Chapter 12, HEKA-TEA as the Psychopomp. Chapter 13, The Sinister Magic of HEKA-TEA. Chapter 14, The Crossroads and HEKA-TEA's Dark Dominion. Chapter 15, HEKA-TEA's Art of Communicating with the Dead. Chapter 16, HEKA-TEA's Ritual of Destruction. Chapter 17, The Rite of HEKA-TEA and Spirits of the Dead. Chapter 18 is HEKA-TEA as the Serpent Goddess. Chapter 19, The Goat, the Gate, and the Goddess. Chapter 20, HEKA-TEA's Liminal Realm, a Journey Through Astral Gates. Chapter 21, Ritual of HEKA-TEA in the Spaces Between Worlds. Chapter 22, The Dark Art of HEKA-TEA and Divination. And then we have Echoes in the Crossroads, extended epilogue on page 129. Then on page 131, we have the bio of Edgar Kervil. And then on page 133, we have Become a Living God. How to bear the black torch of the dark goddess. Here, you knock on the gate to enter the inner current of the witch blood cult. Here, you align yourself with the ancestral chain of witches, necromancers, and initiates who have served HEKA-TEA as queen of the underworld and mistress of the dark side. Through blood rites, possession, and divination trance, her will becomes fully alive in you, binding you to her lineage, while elevating your place within it. The voices of the past, the power of the present, and the unfolding future converge, granting access to heightened states of power and self-deification. Here, you become the living goddess. Godlike power, Edgar Kervil.
Wow.
One person commented, "Why would HEKA-TEA be a part of the Infernal Empire? Who is her emperor exactly?" Someone responded, "Infernal is another word for underworld. HEKA-TEA has an underworld connection, so that's my guess as to the wording here." Infernal, yes, it has a meaning connected to underworld, but infernal does have darker or hellion connotation.
Well, infernal comes from the French word enfer, which means hell directly. So
this one. I haven't had the time to actually fully read the whole book, but skimmed through it and focused a little more on the rituals and ritual styles. Oh, and focused a little more on the rituals and ritual styles, in case some parts of the mythos are borrowed from the primal craft current. Oh. In that case, HEKA-TEA is seen as the supreme primal goddess ruling over the night side and having influence over the celestial and material world as well. She has no emperor ruling her. In fact, Lucifer and Baal are seen as her descendants. In Greek mythology, she's a weird one. As far as I know, she was adopted in the pantheon by the Greek from older religions. Yes, from like the beginning. She has some dominion over the underworld, which is Hades' realm, and Hades supposedly honors her as an equal. Even Zeus had great respect for her and her powers, despite originally being a Titan. So I think also by that standard, she doesn't really answer to any other deities from the Greek pantheon as well. So, okay. As I've talked about on the show, as we know, HEKA-TEA called my ass when I was literally in like kindergarten. I went through an initiation process with her that spanned 3 years. There were trials and tribulations. There were things to do, fears to confront, terrors and things. There was a lot. There were things. And I will tell you, none of it was what's here. There was no... This is clearly from a Christian, Luciferian, satanic influence here in this situation.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't even fucking click on it to order it. But there was no like involving blood. I will tell you that right now. There was no initiation that involved me having to give blood. There was a lot of language in here that, again, we have HEKA-TEA in a very narrow box. This is stuff that, like, you're talking about a lineage that's gone back. So it's not. This is something this guy, I guarantee you, he'll probably be like, HEKA-TEA channeled it to me and told me all about it. Right. And her lineage and blah, blah, blah. But, okay, you didn't actually, like, learn this, we learned this, like, what? No. There's no witch blood cult of HEKA-TEA. No. There is no... And then the subtitle was Become a Living God.
Of course.
This is all very satanic, Luciferian.
Yes.
Also, Abrahamic magical roots.
Also, it keeps speaking of ancestry and lineage, but you can become a part of the lineage by ordering the book.
Right.
That's not how lineage works. And then doing the
rituals in the book, you self-initiate into it. That is not how that works. That is not how that works in any way, shape, or form. I worked with other HEKA-TEAN witches. When the time came for me to like actually initiate formally, when that time came, I had to find actual other HEKA-TEAN witches, which I'll tell you is not an easy endeavor. Right. When almost everyone's like Wiccan or pagan, and they're like, oh yeah, I work with HEKA-TEA or HEKA-TEA or HEKA-TEA or whoever, HEKA-TEA, and it's fucking coming from a very limited perspective, and it's clearly not from a anthropological, historical context and root and understanding of her, where you're actually learning. Because let me be clear, a HEKA-TEAN witch and HEKA-TEAN witchcraft and HEKA-TEAN magic does not whittle down and simplify HEKA-TEA into these dark, infernal, quote-unquote, buzzword tokens. HEKA-TEAN witches, actual HEKA-TEANs, worship HEKA-TEA all the way back to ancient Chattahoochee in fucking Turkey. All the way back to Antoya, all the way back to ancient Kibali and Minoan Mycenaean culture, all the way back to the fucking beginning. We recognize her as a fully primordial, supreme mother fertility goddess. We see and worship and work with HEKA-TEA in all of her fucking aspects, and I will tell you, when I talk to most HEKA-TEANs agree that when they talk to HEKA-TEA and how they see HEKA-TEA is more like Miss Frizz from the Magic School Bus.
What was that?
I see you found my animal of the night, so dark of wing and keen of craft. Of all night flyers, the master's a bet.
Then this queen of darkness and ooh, most of us, unless we need some shadow work done, unless we are like pissed off and need like some of that dark goddess fucking energy, most of us never are rarely ever approached by HEKA-TEA in some scary dark goddess manner. Saffron Veil Arrayed, like she with the rosy cheeks of dawn. Like, we do not see her. We see her as Priestess, the very first. We see her as All Mother. Like, there is no... The whole dark goddess, infernal, necromancy, all of that shit did not become her identity until thousands of years after being adopted by the Greeks. We've already talked about the span of time.
Yes.
So we're talking thousands of years after the Greeks adopted her, after thousands of years already being, then we get to her being demeaned to this. So... And it's not just, obviously, I'm using HEKA-TEA as an example because of this fucking book.
Right.
But as you know on the show, it pisses him off whenever this happens.
Yes.
Whether it is with any Hellenistic deity, Celtic deity, any of the African diaspora, divine deities and spirits, anytime this happens. And then people proclaim, oh, it's ancient. It's the ancient practice. It's so ancient. Well, you're going to learn such this ancient practice. It is not. Just because you channeled it from the goddess one evening and decided to write out this shit because you wanted to create a spell book and a path and a practice does not actually mean it's legit.
No.
I need you to show me the historical evidence of the witch blood cult of HEKA-TEA and the historical rituals and practices of this. Because they don't exist.
Also, there are deities who had in their sacred rites ritual union. HEKA-TEA was not one of them.
No. Her being connected to having Medea and Circe as her daughters and shit. No.
No.
No. No. It does not mean that they're her actual children. It meant they're the daughters of HEKA-TEA, as in witches. HEKA-TEA is not like, let me teach you how to bounce chicka wow wow. HEKA-TEA is like, do not call. HEKA-TEA, I will tell you, is like, I don't want to be in the room when you're fucking.
Yeah.
Do not call me to then have me sit in the room and watch you fuck. Do not call me to like possess you and aid your orgasm. No.
No.
If I ever have considered doing any type of, let's be clear, tantric kundalini sex magic,
Yes.
which has a very specific geographical and religious practice and root, but if I were doing any type of sex magic involving ejaculate for myself or with another person, I know that she is not who to go to. I need to go to Nina Roja, for example. Like, so, HEKA-TEA is not someone you go to for fucking.
No.
She doesn't want to see it. She doesn't, like, if you want to come to her for after the fact, or the next time be like, girl, can you please, like, I invoke you, like, please help that, like, the next time me and Billy hang out, like, it's really good sex, because, like, the last time it sucked. Help me empower this sex spell to make the next time we do it a really good time.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
But she
don't want to show up when you're actually fucking doing it and, like, aid you with your magical orgasm. No. That is not HEKA-TEA's jam. She is like fucking, she'll fucking take her torches and burn your fucking shit off.
Exactly.
Like, why are you appropriating I mean, I know why you feel comfortable appropriating it, Edgar Curvel. The legendary author,
Right.
legendary. I have gone, like, so like I said, this came out in April. This ad I saw was back in April. And this is just a press release he's created with a link to the book.
Which now doesn't work.
Right. But every magic store I have gone to since April, mind you, I have looked for a single book by him on a shelf, and I have not found a single one. I have found books by fucking people like DJ Conway, who, I mean, there are witch authors who are dead, whose books I'm still seeing on the shelves, who are not particularly famous. And I'm still seeing this shit on the shelves from when I was a child. Like, and I'm not even talking like new covers. I'm not even like reprints. Like, I'm just like the original, just still in stock. Like, just they're ordering. Like, I have not once come across this guy. Not once.
Also, it's like
I've never heard of him.
How are you gonna say that you are in this ancient bloodline of HEKA-TEAns, but your last name is Kervil?
I know, and it's literally, the website is forum.becomealivinggod.com.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the other books that are offered here and the authors, and it's all very like Goetia, very Hermeticism, very much everything and anything connected to the Abrahamic religious path and religious spiritual universe. So there you go, right there, fucking pisses me off.
I know.
That HEKA-TEA is being incorporated, or any pagan deity gets incorporated into any gnosis of a Christian framework, an Abrahamic framework. And it's so disrespectful.
It really is.
It's so disrespectful. And I don't think you're talking to HEKA-TEA.
No.
I just don't. I don't think you are. I think that if you're doing anything that's like, oh, do this and this, and it involves blood rites and all this shit, do your actual research on HEKA-TEA. Actual research, historical, anthropological research. By history books. By actual books written by historical scholars and anthropologists and archaeologists on HEKA-TEA, on Turkey, on the Middle East, on pre-Grecian societies and worlds and etc. Just actually learn about her rituals, the Greek magical papyri, which is pretty much the spell book of HEKA-TEA. I'm going to tell you right now, almost all traditional. I have the traditional spells of HEKA-TEA from ancient times. I have them. They're easily gotten. The Greek magical papyri is easily looked at and gotten.
You can literally order it on Amazon.
Yeah. And that is pretty much the spell book of HEKA-TEA. There's no witch blood cult initiation. There are other tablets and rites of HEKA-TEA that have been found because her practice was, as we report, she was pretty much the one who has most survived out of all especially in terms of her actual living practice, has consistently never stopped in one form or another all over the fucking world. So I will tell you that a lot of these practices you can find on her, and none of them have some blood cult rite initiation or some tantric sex, kundalini lineage ascension, blah 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 blah.
And no matter who it is that you want to work with, it is your duty as a devotee of them to do your fucking research and to come at it through an anthropological and historical framework.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to be worshiping them accurately or properly unless you do that.
Correct. So, let us know in the comments. Does this type of shit royally also piss you off? Does it not seem like, I don't know, online social witch talk has become like a wild west? Where it's just everyone's like, you can just bibbity bobbity boo however you want, whenever you want, it doesn't fucking matter. Well, that's not the case. It fucking matters. It fucking matters.
And then it's like the conflating the gods with not necessarily the pop culture witchcraft like we've discussed, but when you sort of put these two things on the same viewing point, you know what I mean?
Right, the Abrahamic with the deific world in mythology, and impose it on top of a completely different one.
Exactly.
HEKA-TEA is now infernal queen of hell,
right.
and Lucifer and Baal are her descendants, and
which, if you actually researched anything about Baal, you would find a very different story.
Yes,
which we've already gotten into,
and one that has nothing to do with HEKA-TEA.
No.
There are other aspects of Baal, Zeus, Jupiter, that do.
Yes.
But Baal is an aspect of Zeus, Jupiter, etc., Osiris, etc., that actually does not have a aspect connection with HEKA-TEA. So at least not one that's been discovered yet.
Right.
So, no.
No.
And again, it was just, once again, when they were trying to be well, how to explain HEKA-TEA, our arch rival, they were well, she is the mother of Lucifer. That's where that fucking even came from, back in like the Middle Ages, the medieval times, when she got on their fucking hit list again.
Right.
Like, it was just easy to be like, well, it's because we can't get rid of her because, she's the mother of Lucifer, or somehow a hell queen of Lucifer with a fall. Like, there's contradictions in how they even explain it.
Yes.
So, yeah, gross.
I know.
Next topic.
If I can orientate my tablet correctly. I can't promise that this will be as exciting as Ms. Evans. But yes, so this is more so a kind of, not an op-ed piece that I will be discussing. This is by Reverend Emily Gunther.
Okay.
And it's called All Magic Comes with a Price.
Agreed.
Which is a line from the old TV series Once Upon a Time. that became the tagline of the character Rumpelstiltskin / Mr. Gold, played by Robert Carlyle.
Okay.
So she says it's also one of the tenets of magic that she finds to be the most overlooked. She says that, like, in her experience on Witch Talk, she comes across often a lot of misinformation just kind of being disseminated and going on. Now, she does preface this with the fact that there are good content creators out there.
Sure.
However, the bad outweighs the good in her personal experience. And frankly, I agree.
I would too, yeah.
Even good information can have bad results if that information is not used correctly, or if you do not understand all of the aspects of what you are trying to do. For instance, just because you saw a 45-second video does not mean that you understand the mechanics of a topic.
Correct.
Which actually kind of is a perfect segue from your last topic. So things that she feels gets overlooked when talking about magic or manifestation is that these things do come with price. Now, of course, that is determined by the work that you are doing and what you negotiate the cost to be.
Right.
So as a pagan, we all worship differently, if we worship at all. Some of us do not do work with deities.
Right.
But many of us do.
Yes.
Those of us who do often work with several different gods. Now, sometimes we will ask one of our gods to help us out with energy in our magical workings, of course. In these occasions, there is a chance that they are going to want something in return. Now, of course, every spell is going to be different. And if you ask one of your primary deities for help with something, they may not expect something. They will certainly accept the offering that you choose to give them, but they may or may not require.
Correct.
If you have had a lifelong, deep,
years-long
relationship with them, if that is what the relationship has evolved to.
Right. It hasn't just stayed business.
Exactly. Similarly to asking a close friend for help when you need it. Now, of course, there are also deities that we may work with on a less often basis, and if that is the case, if you ask for their help, you will want to bring them something in return. Yes. That is where negotiating the price comes in. Now, of course, you should not be asking a spirit or deity, Lua, Orisha, anything for help when you do not have a relationship with them. Not doing yourself any favors if you reach out to a deity that you've never worked with, but maybe they have dominion over something that you want help with. So rather than reaching out to a deity that you are familiar with, you reach out to them. They don't have a relationship with you. They have no knowledge of you. They have no reason to help you.
Right.
Well, now, will they help you anyway? Maybe, but maybe not. And if so, the price may be steep.
Yes.
So, of course, the first rule of thumb into this type of situation is that you should have a relationship established with them, and if not, this should be something that you educate yourself about and you go in fully informed.
Yeah, because let's be clear. See, I don't necessarily agree with her, this person on that, where she's
Yeah.
like, oh, if you don't know them, blah, blah, blah. You're a witch. If you are a witch, literally speaking to my witches out there, I can't really speak to druids or...
Right.
But witches, speaking to you, we all know that deities from all over the place love to work with us.
That is true.
Because they love our magic.
Mm-hmm.
It's good times, good things. If you are a smart witch and you're approaching any spirit, deity, entity, whatever, external, very powerful force to help you, and let's say you're not particularly wanting to have a relationship, an actual relationship with them, you just want them to help with this one thing.
Right.
Then you just show up with a good gift.
Right.
You fucking bribe them. You say, hey, you call them up, and then you're like, hey, and then they go, cool. And they go, well, what are you going to offer me if I help you? What do you got? And you say, I got this fucking silver bracelet and this bottle of champagne that I know you like, and I got these brownies that I know that are sacred to you or whatever. Like, and you negotiate.
Right.
You offer.
You educate yourself about the brownies and the champagne that they like. You don't just
don't get Andres. Like if they're wanting fucking if it's like they're like, oh, I want champagne, then you better be getting champagne.
Yes.
Don't get cava, not just a sparkling wine. If it's specifically champagne and doesn't say or any sparkling beverage, then it needs to be from the Champagne region of France.
Exactly.
But as long as you do the things, you get the right cigars, if they like cigars or cigarettes, whatever, you do the right things, you call them up, you say, this is what I have for you, this is what I would like your help with. And you know what? 9 times out of 10, they will help you. And 9 times out of 10, they will also then be on their way when they're done.
Right.
Like, they go take care of it, you're settled, they call you up, happy, yep, settled, good, done, bye.
Right.
Like, and sometimes they might be like, I like you.
Right.
I'm going to stick around. And that's that. So on that, I don't particularly agree with her on. Like, I just think you should educate yourself.
Yeah,
you should educate yourself on that being before you call them.
I think...
And be prepared to pay them. You're not just going to get something for nothing.
I kind of partially agree because I don't think that it's a situation where if you haven't worked with them before, you have no business reaching out to them. That being said, I don't know about just reaching out to someone that you don't work with and have no intention of working with in the future. I think there's always a first time, certainly, but
I mean, in SpellCraft, we've literally given spells to people that have been like, oh, this deity's bath or this deity's incantation.
Well, that's true, but they may work with those deities.
Yeah, but they may not. And we've never advised on needing to do that because it's always a more transactional relationship with witches and deities. Because
I just think it's a slippery slope from that to deity hopping. That's my...
I think it is too, if you are trying to worship.
Yeah.
Deity hopping is a specific, let me build my pantheon.
Right.
And I can be like, oh, I work with so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. Or they go and, oh, I'm with this person. And then they lie about the relationship and say, oh, I'm so close to this deity and we're so connected, blah, blah, blah. And then the next thing you know, that deity is nowhere to be found, and now they're blowing smoke up another deity's butthole.
Right.
And they're like, oh, I've always been with this deity, and but if you're gonna do I don't know, you pull out your spell book and you're trying to do Aphrodite's glamour night on the town spell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't work with Aphrodite, maybe you don't really have an intention because you're not that super into love. That's not or whatever. So you're you call her up, you offer her the shit she likes, and you're like, please let me be super sparkly and glamorous tonight out on the town and let me get laid. I wouldn't then turn around and be transaction's done, right? You paid, she did, you go out on the town, you have sex, it's great, you wake up and you're like, awesome, or you're like, oh, I wish I hadn't hooked up with this person.
Right.
But either way, it happened, transaction done. Where I think it gets wrong and terrible is then when you haven't really even worked with her beyond that.
Yeah.
You haven't even really called her up beyond that. You made your temporary altar for the spell to bring her and offer her, but you haven't ever since that. You haven't called her up since then.
Right.
But in the next time you're in a conversation about the deities you work with or whatever,
I
work with Aphrodite, but you literally don't. Then that's when I think there's I agree. That's where I would agree. Sure. But I do think in terms of just as a witch, like if you're going into it educated and you are like, I'm just setting them up for this one thing, and I'm not going to sit here and turn around and claim that it's like we have like we have deities we venerate, but we aren't actually initiated into their religious practice.
Yes, that's true.
And we do not claim to.
No.
Nor do we claim to be experts on said practices.
Not at all.
Because it's a personal veneration of a specific deity or deities because of a specific intervention that they brought into our lives. And in exchange for that, it was all I require for you in exchange is some veneration. Is an altar where you venerate me.
Exactly.
And as long as you do that, then I've got your back.
Exactly.
When when you need it. Like, that's one thing. Saying I'm venerating, but if you're not even venerating them.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just the one time, really but then you are claiming that you do.
Yeah, no, that's wrong.
That's wrong. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, so
let us continue.
So that's definitely a topic that's a little. It can be tricky, but if you're going to do it, just make sure you're doing it educated.
Yeah, navigating it correctly.
Exactly. And no matter if it's a one-time thing or if you end up building a relationship with them in the future, like make sure that you're always going to them asking what it is that they would like of you.
You can always approach them with initial offerings.
Absolutely.
But then say, like, this is blah, 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 and be like, is there anything else that you require of me on top of these please help me gifts? Like, welcome to my home gifts that I'm giving you. Like, is there any extra, now that I've asked you, then be like, Pan, Oberon, whoever, help me with this,
blah, blah, blah.
Blah, blah, blah. And then you give the offerings, and then you're like, Oberon, please help. Is there anything else you need of me, require of me in order for you to help me with this?
Exactly.
Like,
and maybe they'll say, no, we good.
Yeah. Or they'll be like,
yes, I would like you to work with me.
Or they might be like, I want some cookies too.
Yeah. Exactly. And whatever it is that they have said, make sure that you respond to that in kind and you are respectful to them when going to them.
And if that is the case, if they're like, I want to start working with you, that's the bargain. You also have a right to say no.
Exactly.
You don't have to just like then be like, okay, well now I have to agree. If that deity, you're like, I really just wanted your help with this one thing. Like I really I just am. You're not the deity I want to work with. You can do that. You can say that. You can say, peace out. Please enjoy the offerings. Like you can't take those back.
No.
But you can still be like, oh, I don't want to do that.
Yeah,
thank you. No, thank you. Please enjoy the gifts.
Yeah, exactly.
Go on your way. And you know what? A lot of times, said being deity will still give you a little like sparkle blessing on the way out the door.
Exactly.
Like,
unless you take back the gifts, then you might
then expect to maybe find yourself living under a bridge in less than a week.
Exactly. Now, of course, if deity work isn't for you, there's also ancestor veneration. That is a part of most traditions and for a good reason. Yep. They, of course, to bring it back to lineage and bloodlines in an actual way.
Right.
Because of that, they have a vested interest in you and want to see you succeed and be happy.
Yes.
Especially if they are someone who you knew when they were alive, and that you had a good relationship with, you can absolutely reach out to them now that they have passed.
Yes.
Just again, like with the deity, be respectful.
Yes. And if you know for sure witchcraft, magic, all that was not their jam, leave them the fuck alone.
Exactly.
Ghost hauntings, if they're arrested in the afterlife, don't ring their fucking bell, because then they're gonna be pissed off that you are now making them like appear as a ghost in your home or whatever. You know what I mean? Like if they were no to all of that, leave them the fuck alone. They don't want to talk to you in that context.
Exactly. Like, for instance, I have one grandparent who I know was a little witchy. However, the other one was absolutely not. So, I mean, also, I wasn't very close with her.
Right.
So, like, I would have no reason to be reaching out to her anyway. But, like, if the closeness was reversed, still not okay for me to reach out to her in that way.
Right,
like,
exactly.
You know, obviously, of course, like, that's different from, like, sending her my love. But in terms of, like, having an actual, like, an altar to her with a picture and a candle and offerings of her favorite things, that's a little more tricky, you know what I mean? So it definitely just depends on the person and your relationship with said person, if one existed. So maybe you're venerating a more ancient ancestor that you did not know in life. Now, of course, not all magic requires divine support either.
Nope.
You have your own magic if you are a witch.
Mhm.
Absolutely. Plenty of times, although like we are both very devotional witches, we are still witches.
Yes.
And we have magic that comes from within.
Mhm. I have, like I said, I have a working altar, and that working altar is literally a working altar. The only divine being sitting at that altar doing magic is me.
Exactly.
And the spirits of my beautiful Nikita. But that is it. It's not a deific altar. There are no deities on that altar. I don't invoke deities. If I am going to do a spell and I'm like, oh, it's going to involve invoking said deity, then the spell's done at their altar, not at the working altar.
Exactly.
My working altar is all just me being a witch, doing witchy, fun, rhymey, witchy shit.
Exactly. And of course, there are atheistic or agnostic witches as well who practice magic, are very much witches in themselves, but they do not work with any spirits or deities. And that is just as valid as those who do. And I think that's also an important, thing to consider.
Yes.
Now, of course, with any deific exchange, like there needs to be a determined price for what you're asking. And again, like with your grandma, it depends on them and your relationship to them, and vice versa. Of course, all magic is going to require an energetic exchange. Spell work can be transactional, but it's not always. However, even if you're just doing a spell at your altar for yourself, like you are paying for that in the energetic flow that comes out of you. And I think that's
why if you've done a spell correctly, you are like wiped out usually. You want to like eat fucking everything in the fucking house or go straight to bed like it is. You want to chug fucking water or soda or coffee, something sugary to get things going again. Like there is a price to pay always.
Oh, exactly. Now, of course, also, like, I think an important part of all of this is to be really solidified about what you want out of the spell. Like, don't be casting spells willy-nilly. You know what I mean? Like in a way that, like, you haven't really solidified what you are truly seeking to manifest. It's definitely something that is worth taking that extra time to soul search yourself before you do this, which I would agree with. I've definitely cast some spells before where it was impulsive and I paid the price for that. So I think that's some very sound advice on her part, is to take the time to sit with it in yourself and determine what it is you are seeking before you sit down to cast a spell, especially if it's just with using your own witchcraft. And that was the extent of her piece. There was just like predominantly just to do with the fact that like there's a lot of misinformation going on out there right now, and these are things that need to be more seriously considered and thought about rather than entered into frivolously. And as long as you are approaching your witchcraft, whether it's just your own witchcraft or your ancestor or deity veneration, as long as you are approaching these topics with true consideration and education, you will be just fine. But if you're not, you could cause a bunch of havoc for yourself.
Like really fuck up your life if you just we've harped on this so many times, just by the simple fact of not doing your legwork on who you're trying to contact or work with.
Especially also like that there are entities out there who will use the name of a well-known deity and work with you under the guise of them. So if you are working with who you think is, let's say, Sekhmet, and you know your shit about Sekhmet, and said entity says something or does something that is so the polar opposite of what you know to be true about her, question it. Question if that is who you were speaking to.
Yeah, exactly. And it's definitely something that has, it's definitely been a wild west on social media where witch talk, especially as it's called, and Witchstagram is just full of some of the most ridiculous advice I've seen, or magical tips or whatever that have no basis in actual anything, or it was clearly they think it does, but you can tell they clearly learned it from another creator. Exactly. Not to say that as witches, we can't come up with spells and create spells all the time. Of course, just like chefs always come up with new recipes, right? Or writers create new books and new stories. But it's because they have all the ingredients. Right. They understand the mechanics behind it to create a new spell that's never been thought of before, to create a new book, character, story, or new dish, or new restaurant, or menu inspiration. Like, these things don't just happen out of bibbidi bobbidi boo, and you can just say, we'll take this, and oh, well, you're going to take some hematite, and you're going to take some parsley, and you're going to take some cigarette ash, and you're going to take some tinsel from last year's Christmas tree, and it has to be last year's Christmas tree, and you're going to put it all together, and you're sticking it in a glass jar, and you are then going to get some glitter thread, purple glitter thread, and it has to be made of yarn, purple glitter yarn, and you have to take the yarn and peel it and make it super thin. It has to do that, and it has to be all that, and you're seeing blah, blah, blah. And that is going to make it so you can teleport. Astral, like it'll improve your astral projection.
Okay.
Really? How? What is hematite, cigarette ash, last year's tinsel? Like, how does that come together, all make that happen?
Right.
It doesn't. Now, if you told me you had some amethyst, and you had some lavender, and you had maybe some ash from the bark of a willow tree, then maybe, and then you tied it with a silver thread, then maybe I will believe you that it may help with astral projection, amongst other things. Because even if some of the ingredients are new or whatever, I recognize base ingredients that do what you are claiming this will do. So then I'm going to trust that the other things you added, especially if I can then look them up and be like, or I know already offhand and say, oh yeah, and that tiger's eye thrown in there does also help with making sure you land on your specific location.
Exactly.
When you astral project.
Right.
Like, just when there are things there that then I, as the witch, can say, okay, yeah, this is a new spell, but the mechanics, the ingredients there, I know are all delicious and do their thing.
Exactly.
And together, I know just by reading in the picture that this dish, this spell is going to be amazing and 5-star. Like, then that's how that works. But if you're just booing and you're making a 45-second TikTok and saying this will do this and now do this and this is what this is, and it's so ancient.
Really?
Like,
they had silver yarn back then.
Yeah, of course, girl. Didn't you know? Weren't you there for the silver yarning glitter industrialization?
I mean, of course, that's what, which is
1400 BC.
Of course, that's what they used to make their brooms on which they physically flew.
Yes. Yes.
But I'll tell you what it isn't. It's not you working with a non-existent aspect of a deity because some witch on TikTok said so.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, just grind our gears. Yeah. So these are just kind of the topics that we couldn't really get into because, as you can see, they weren't really a specific, like, you know, well, blah, 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 for Witchcraft in the News. And they also didn't have something that we could really just kind of create on its own topic.
But we did need to be witchin' and bitchin'.
Yes, we needed to be witchin' and bitchin' in the city about these things. Yeah. And if you have any thoughts on any of these hot cauldron sparks that we investigated, please let us know in the comments. We would greatly appreciate it. And with that being said, let us go open our pores.
Yes.
By returning to the misty, dewy, foggy, moist, gray, cold lanes and avenues and forests and trails of Greendale, where we join Sabrina Spellman and her aunt Hilda, as they have, or, well, at least Sabrina, as she has been expelled from the academy. Hilda has now been recently re-communicated into the church. And Zelda Spellman is now Zelda Spellman Blackwood, on her honeymoon at the necropolis beneath the Vatican to be hanging out with the anti-pope, who is, well, not the anti-pope because he's dead, but with Father Blackwood as a honeymoon in the necropolis beneath the Vatican, where Ambrose Spellman, meanwhile, is in a witch prison. And now there are witch hunters, and we are going to once again be forced to deal with Harvey Kinkle and Co. For the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina rewatch. The Missionaries. finish your thought.
Oh, I was just saying, the kinks.
The kinks. All right, so in a flashback scene, we are with the angelic witch hunter Gerasimil, who is of the Order of the Innocents, who is torturing Luke Chalfant. I didn't know that was his last name. Ambrose's missing, now dead boyfriend, into revealing the location of the Greendale witch community. He then kills him, and it was well deserved because Luke. So now we're back to the present, where Hilda is trying to visit Ambrose at the academy where he is being imprisoned and tortured by the Weird Sisters. The Weird Sisters are trying to get him to force a confession out of him for the alleged crime of murdering the anti-pope and attempting to kill Father Blackwood in some grand conspiracy, although we of course know that he choked up Leviathan, the familiar rat given to him by Father Blackwood, and to the other boys in the Order of Judas, who also subsequently, after getting murdered, had their mice familiars come up out of them. Sabrina returns to Baxter High, but is met by hostility from the blind Roz and bitter Harvey. They accuse Sabrina basically of making Roz blind. That it happened right after she kissed Harvey, even though she kept having instances where if she did anything that got her lady juices flowing, would kick off her cunt.
Mm-hmm.
So and her blindness. So it's way to erase the past.
Exactly.
Theo, however, does not do this. Theo is like, Sabrina's a friend. You guys are pieces of shit. So Gerasimil and two other witch hunters end up attacking Sabrina and Hilda. Nick Scratch, who is at Dorian's, getting wasted, but the witches survive and take out a couple of them. Gerasimil and the surviving witch hunter Mehitabel. These are terrible names. Mehitabel?
Yeah. I only know because I have a few ancestors with that name.
Mehitabel, yeah, Mehitabele.
Yeah.
Mehitabel invade the Academy of Unseen Arts, capturing the Weird Sisters and the students and gravely wounding Ambrose. Now, while Hilda, Nick, and Harvey are trying to take care of Ambrose and his wounds, Sabrina goes to the unconsecrated church, which has now been reconsecrated to the Lord by the angels. She confronts the angels. They actually kill her and put the crown of thorns on her, and it's this whole thing. And Sabrina is resurrected by the Dark Lord, and she's gets them to denounce God and fucking pray to Satan, and then she wipes them out with hellfire.
It's very satisfying to watch.
Yes, and she ends up resurrecting the two of the witches that they killed. Harvey arrives to save her, and she's floating up in the sky, all wide-eyed, crazy, with arrows sticking out of her, and a crown of thorns,
right,
and her platinum hair, and
she got fires in her hand.
She got fires in her hand. Hellfire, hellfire,
dog
fire. And he's just totally scared, and she grins at him, and then that's it on that. Now, the Dark Lord can't keep his hands off Lilith and her life, and so to reassert his authority over her, he kills her fiancé Adam, who was trying to take her away to Tibet to be just see the world shimmering splendor.
Through his physicians without what is it?
And he makes her eat Adam's head, which is under a big cloche as dessert, because then he glamours himself as Adam, and so she thinks she's having a romantic din-din with him. No. Not good. Not a good look. And so of course Lilith is the Dark Lord isn't omnipotent or omniscient, and actually
omnipresent?
No, she didn't say omnipresent. Did she say omnipresent and just say it weirdly?
She did.
I know she said omnipotent at one point.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyway,
something.
She said something.
He's not omni.
He's not omni. He has no omnis. So she was he won't see what's coming. He took away the one thing I ever loved, then I am gonna, which sad that for her story anyways.
Right.
That
all of those millennia.
She finally was in love and had let go of her bitterness and her darkness. And then men being men and being stupid do the opposite of what they should do to get someone to like reconsider hanging out with them, which is be like, fine, you don't want to hang out with me, you want to hang out with this person instead? Well, I'm gonna go fucking beat the shit out of them. I beat the crap out of them. You want me now, right, bitch? Like, no one wants you. No one wants you. I just want to pee in your fucking face. I want to cut you open. I want to give you fucking wounds. I want to rub salt in those fucking wounds, and then I want to pee in those fucking wounds. And I want to make sure that I eat so much fucking shit that's gonna make my fucking pee so yellow and smelly, so full of uric acid that it'll just fucking burn. Like,
and salty.
That's what Lilith is saying. So it'll be fun to watch that happen.
Really will.
Beyond that, not much. Like, I really wish Ambrose had slammed Dorcas's head into a stone wall at one point. Like, I wish he had slammed fucking what's her face? Fucking Prudence into a fucking wall. Like, oh god, the rage I felt. The rage Carrie 2 I felt.
Exactly.
Which we'll have to watch for the show.
Oh, we should.
So there you go. So that is The Missionaries, chapter 17. We got 4 more to go. Wait, 1, 2, 3 more to go.
Oh my.
So one may end up being a double hitter because I think we only have 2 episodes left in the season. So, and I really don't want to end season 2 of this show with like 1 or 2 episodes left of Sabrina season 2. So we will get through it. Anywho, that's that. Out of Greendale we go. Until next time. All right. Next we have SpellCraft. And today's SpellCraft comes from Llewellyn's 1999 Magical Almanac. Yes, this is mine. This is my copy from when I was 14 years old. My name is written right there in big handwriting because it was super, super big with my old last name right there.
Oh my gosh.
And the reason we're going with this one today is because I actually used the spell from it as an example in our topic about hitting up deities.
Oh, okay.
Which is Aphrodite's mirror. All right, and this one comes from the witch author Marguerite Elizabeth, and I'm going to let you be the giver of this spell.
Wondrous, and it's got some very cute illustrations as well.
Yes.
Just thought that I would share that with the class.
Yes.
Anyways, so it says, have you looked into Aphrodite's mirror lately?
Have I ever?
No.
No. I have not.
Venus Aphrodite, Greco-Roman goddess of love and romance, is sensual and appreciative of beauty, especially her own. That's true.
Very true.
She can be a seeker of self-perfection and a prisoner of passion, filled with insatiable longing to possess or be possessed by her chosen target of affection.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps it seems frivolous to think of cosmetics, clothing, and flirtation in these times of global chaos, which is still so
I know, this was 1999.
But some girls just want to have fun.
Fuck yeah, they do.
And gays, and theys, and thems.
Always.
Begin on Friday, Venus Day, at 7 p.m., Venus Hour.
Mm-hmm.
Check the planetary hours to determine the exact time of Venus's hour.
So see, this is where we've talked about before, where you can get to a spell where coordinates are specific. Yes. Sometimes you can get away with, oh, well, it's still nighttime in Hawaii or whatever, and they're 5.5, 6 hours behind. Or, oh, I need to do this, blah, 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 but I won't have time tomorrow night. But, oh, it's the full moon in France right now.
Right.
And so you can get away with getting that full moon magic or whatever.
Exactly.
This is a coordinate-specific one.
Mm-hmm. If the sun and or the moon is in the Venus-ruled signs of Taurus or Libra, and the moon is waxing, better still.
See? Specific mechanics.
Mm-hmm. Now first, try this on for size. Warm some honey, because Venus is fond of bees. Mix it with mashed avocado, because green is one of her colors. And a dollop of plain yogurt, and smear it all over your face, neck, and chest. or just eat it.
Or both.
No, it says tastes great too, but I decided to give it my own little flair.
I love it.
Next, draw a romantic bath for one. Decorate your bathroom with pale green candles. Now that is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Pale green.
Pale green.
And a single red rose for atmosphere. Run the bath, preferably as hot as you can comfortably stand it. Add the bath water and a mixture of myrtle and clover oil to honor Venus. 1 cup of sugar for sweetness, 1 cup of pink wine for heady intoxication, and a generous splash of sandalwood perfume for luxury. Get sky-clad and turn down the light. Enter the tub and let your imagination run wild.
I think we all know what that means.
Mm-hmm.
Proceed.
That means get a little shower head, actually.
Yeah. Tickle that taint.
Exactly. After you've bathed and washed off the avocado facial, dry your hair and give the old 100 strokes hair brushing routine.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 99, 98, 97, however you want to do it.
So let your hair hang down before you. Ooh.
Look good.
Yes. Sweep a natural boar bristle brush from your scalp to the ends of your hair. Have your It sounded like a fart.
Maybe that's what happens when you do this. Fart. Your hair sounds like a fart when you come in.
Venus is like, I know you thought I came for love, but I came to heal your guts.
I know you think I came for love, but I came for flatulence.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, Venus.
Yes, please.
No disrespect intended.
Girl,
We're
please.
just silly people.
Just silly faggots. Just silly faggots.
Have your hand follow the brush as it works its way through. Focus your attention on your hand. Oh my God. And imagine that you are...
We gotta try this again because we can't be disrespectful to the author. Okay, so gather your things. Okay. And then just take it from the top of that paragraph.
Okay. Guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Deep breath. Gather it.
Okay. Imagine you're impregnating your hair with power.
Imagine you're impregnating your hair with power.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sweep a natural boar bristle brush from your scalp to the ends of your hair.
Mm-hmm.
While you're doing this, have your hand follow the brush as it works its way through.
Mm-hmm.
Focus your attention on your hand and imagine that you are imbuing your power into your hair
Yes,
itself.
let it flow through it. Yes.
Yes. Think, feel, and exude magnetic attraction into your hair with every stroke.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now make yourself comfortable and take several deep, relaxing breaths.
Mm-hmm.
Surround yourself with vibrant green light and picture yourself beautiful.
Yes.
Really get into the image. This is who you are, your magical self, and if you can visualize it, you can become it. Note what you might do to make the astral you a reality and affirm to do it. And finally, if you want, don some makeup. Aphrodite wouldn't be caught dead without it, so it says. And dress to kill in your favorite come hither fashions, including luscious lingerie. Wear emerald or turquoise jewelry or an amulet made with these Venus stones for an extra luck in love. Then head out for a night on the town and reflect Aphrodite's beauty right back at them.
Bam. So love it, live it, learn it, do it. I would suggest, again, now those are all sacred things to her.
Yes.
But also, pour her a glass of champagne.
Exactly.
That's all you got to do. Just pour her a glass of champagne.
Mm-hmm.
You already got her favorite candle colors. Well, you have all the other shit going on, but you want her help. at least be like, girl, here's a glass of Champers, hang out with me.
Exactly.
And that's the only thing I would add to that.
And one more note before we end this SpellCraft, just because it does deal with particular times as well as Aphrodite Venus.
Yes.
One thing that is important to note, if you did not know this already, and if you did, I am going to be hammering it into your brain, is that the Greek and Roman deities, when we talk about their sacred days, we have to remember these days started at sunset.
Yes.
And lasted through sunset of the following day. In fact, sunset in the ancient world at that time and place was the equivalent of midnight as we know it in our world today.
Yes.
So in that way, to correspond with that, their sacred days, even as we celebrate them today, continue to start and end at sunset. So with specifically a spell that's to take place on Venus Day, you really have to make sure that it does take place after sunset has occurred. Unless it's like this particular spell, a particular exact time.
Yeah, I was about to say, if it, with the exception of if it's like 7 p.m.,
yes,
then sorry, Jupiter, Zeus, get the fuck out of the way.
Right. But
you're getting ready to go anyways.
Right. If it's in general, like,
Venus
do this
Day,
on Venus Day,
right,
you should wait until
sunset, not Friday morning.
Yes, exactly.
It's not her day yet.
No. In fact, it is currently still Jupiter's day. And one thing that like I always kind of like to use as an analogy when I think about this in my life and my practice is that, like, for instance, I'm a witch who also works like a 40-hour 9-to-5 job, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, when I am waking up on my Friday morning and it is the last day of my work week, I'm in the home stretch, I get my paycheck, I'm allocating the funds where they need to be to have the correct kind of week.
Right.
That is Jupiter. When I get off work on a Friday evening and I'm thinking about where I'm gonna go for my cocktail hour, I'm putting on my lipstick to have my night on the town, maybe I'm meeting up with my bestie over here, or I've got a date, that is Venus.
Yes.
And I think it's very important to make that distinction.
And I like that that's a good way to kind of think about it. Like, Friday morning business.
Exactly.
That's Jupiter time.
Yeah.
That's what he's in charge of. That's his shit.
Exactly.
Going out, doing your thing after work, when it's night out in the town, that is Aphrodite.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there you go. Aphrodite's Mirror Spell from Marguerite Elizabeth from Llewellyn's 1999 Magical Almanac.
Yes.
Again, give her a little something.
Yes,
it is transactional.
exactly,
Unless you are wanting to build a relationship with her, I mean, you should still give her something.
Oh, absolutely.
But if you already have a relationship with her, then just go on with it. But if you literally are just hitting her up for a night out in the town, little glamour like that, for then just give her something. Give her some shit for the one-time help.
Exactly. Well, without any further ado,
it is time for Witchy Media Review.
And of course, as we mentioned, this Witchy Media Review is the 1969 experimental film by Larry Jordan.
Yes.
Our Lady of the Sphere.
Yes. Yes. I will first say, first and foremost, this was intended to really be understood with psychedelics.
Yes.
We did not have psychedelics to partake in.
We did not.
I had my marijuana, and I will tell you.
I had coffee.
Right. But I will tell you, the weed did not produce the correct high that this film would ask of you.
No.
But still good.
Still a very interesting film.
Yeah.
All 10 minutes.
All 10 minutes.
And you know, I think it's really the perfect film to go over on this full moon in Aquarius because it was weird.
Yeah, agreed. It was completely Aquarian. It was the age of Aquarius.
So of course, this film features ambiguous characters. There's a boy, a deep sea diver, and a mystical lady with an orbital head.
Yes, the Lady of the Sphere.
The Lady of the Sphere. They are on a surrealist, dreamlike journey, full of various imagery through time.
Mostly a lot of Victorian, Max Ernst type.
Exactly.
And then alchemical. A lot of witchcraft occult, alchemical.
Yes, exactly. And then a couple of little things from antiquity spliced in, such as, since we just mentioned Jupiter and Zeus, I did notice Ganymede and the eagle.
I did, yes. Ganymede being oogled by that 18th century man in his chair with his wig, looking all, Yes, it was quite the queer piece of film, too.
I did notice that. There was a lot of gayness happening.
But with women and, women to women and men to men.
Oh,
it was very with clip art. With Victorian clip art and alchemical clip art and antiquarian clip art.
I know. It was very interesting. It actually kind of, it read as though it were, something from, the 1910s.
Yes, completely.
Much. Like if I didn't already know that it was from 69 going in, I would never guess.
Yeah, no, the way it opened, especially, I was like, wait, is this like a silent film? From 1910?
Yeah.
Like, it was very, I was like, is this a Meisels? Like, I was gonna click on the wrong thing. Like, are we in France? Like, what's going on? Like,
exactly. So along with the antiquity, there was also some space age imagery going on as well. Alternating backgrounds, and then the film ends in a garden.
Yes, a lot of time travel.
Yes.
We follow these kind of, through the clip art of these various characters, we kind of follow their journey, and one of the ones we follow is the boy, and the boy ends in the fairy realm.
Yeah.
He shrinks and ends up in the fairy kingdom. Yes. That's kind of where it ends. And Our Lady of the Sphere, I feel like, in a lot of ways, I mean, she seemed like HEKA-TEA. Like, she was the guy,
kind of the vibe that I was getting as well.
She was carrying them through time, and time was past, present, future, woven all at once, moving all at once.
Exactly.
It was really cool.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it was definitely one of those things we went through, and you're about to tell us about the director, about Larry, or Lawrence, excuse me. But Larry. But I will say, when going through his filmography, he has like 100 experimental films, but so much of them are based on occult pagan works.
Absolutely.
And I'm pretty sure he is mentioned along with the other guy we watched, the other one. But I am pretty sure he is mentioned, and Our Lady of the Sphere is mentioned in the Book of Lies. The history of the occult, the dark history of the occult, hidden history of the occult, or whatever. So so anyway, please tell us more about Larry.
So let me take you on a journey of Larry.
Yes.
So he was born in 1934 in Denver. He attended Harvard, actually.
Okay.
From 51 to 53, where, of course, as you can imagine, he was very active in the film society. He moved to Central City, where he put on plays with friends from high school. Both he and Brakhage began making films during this period, with Jordan appearing in Brackage's Unglassed Windows Cast a Terrible Reflection.
Oh, okay.
And Desist film, while Brakhage appeared in Jordan's The One Romantic Adventure of Edward and Trumpet.
Oh, that sounds gay.
Yeah.
That sounds really gay.
Sounds very gay.
Very.
So while they were in New York, Jordan met artist Joseph Cornell at his show at the Sable Gallery. It's all just becoming more gay.
Yeah, it is.
Actually, yes. So he described Cornell's work as like an anchor for him, aligning with his own sensibility of delicate magic.
Okay.
Okay.
I bet you. So I bet I am correct that it is in the Book of Lies.
Yeah.
He's in the Book of Lies. Yeah. Okay.
Got you. So in 1955, Jordan settled in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Okay. Yeah.
He appeared as Faust in Robert Duncan's play Faust Futu. Yes.
Okay.
And just introduced him to collage novels by Max Ernst.
Okay.
Of course.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense with that connection as well, which, as we've already gleaned, became a major influence on his filmmaking.
Yes.
He taught Bruce Conner how to edit films, and in 1957, the two founded the Camera Obscura Film Society.
Okay.
This was active until 1962, and he made several voyages as a merchant marine during this period as well.
Yes, and Camera Obscura Film Company was known for doing a lot of esoteric, experimental, transcendental films that you could do in like ritual and for spell work. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all making sense.
Exactly. So during the 60s, Jordan was one of the founding members of the Canyon Cinema Cooperative.
Okay.
He was inspired by the Tibetan Book of the Dead when creating this particular film, Our Lady of the Sphere.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. That would make sense. Okay.
Now one of his best known works. In 1970, he received a Guggenheim Fellowship to make sacred art of Tibet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. In 2008, Facets Multimedia released the Lawrence Jordan album. which is a DVD collection with 25 of his films.
Nice.
The Camera Obscura Film Society was reestablished in 2015, and his films are screened as part of its annual report in Petaluma, California. Our Lady of the Sphere was inducted into the National Film Registry in 2010.
Love.
Yes, and so, yeah, lots of films spanning from 1954's Man is in Pain all the way through 2025, Dreamscape 1.
Wow.
So he is still at it, it looks
That
like.
is amazing.
That is wonderful.
That is amazing. Good for him.
That so much.
Good for him. And I don't want to pass judgment, but I will say, based on the crossing of the legs, not necessarily to say crossing legs as a man in particular makes you a homosexual, but there is a particular way they are crossed.
Yes.
That
says gay.
can indicate homosexual.
Yes.
I do not know this man.
No.
I will say, my gaydar has literally never been wrong. Even if they have a drop of queer gay, I pick it out. So I will say, based on his image, that in his story and his locale and his interest in the occult, magic, etc., that and the name Our Lady of the Sphere just tells me that he has family in more than one
sense.
Yeah. I was going to say more than, not just the broom closet, but the rainbow closet.
Yes, exactly.
Well, probably not in either, but...
No, I'm sure not.
It was the only analogy I could think that shared between, I guess.
Right. He would not have been making said films if he had been inside of the broom closet.
Right. And based on what we just saw in the one film, he would not be doing that if he was inside the rainbow closet either.
No, definitely not. But I'm sure his broom bristles are very bright.
Yes. All right. Well,
as are ours.
Where do we land? Where do we give this? It's always so hard when things are so short.
I know.
And it's an experimental film, which it's not meant to be understood in any type of just direct, analog, linear way. I'm going to say, though, for what it was, for watching it, for seeing it, from what I could take from it, not being rolling out of my mind, not tripping out of my mind, I will be giving it let me give it a waxing gibbous.
Yeah.
Like, it's definitely more than a waxing crescent, but I feel like it can't have a full moon or a super full moon or any type of moon.
Right.
Unless you are tripping.
Right.
Balls.
Now, I can imagine that if I were, it would be a full moon.
Oh, if I were tripping balls, full moon, super full moon, probably I would just be, and I'd be like drooling and be like, I watched it on repeat for 8 hours. Like, and it's awesome.
We never would have made it to filming because we'd still be
like tripping on it. Yeah. So like, but since I was not tripping balls, I'm giving it a waxing gibbous.
I concur
and
with that.
Definitely as close to a full moon as you can get for a waxing gibbous. I'm going to give it on my end, because even just as a short experimental film, the clip animation, doing all of that, like, I was so fucking impressed. I was like, how did he do that?
And like the blending time and stuff.
Yes,
together, like,
that fucking was so cool.
trippy.
That tripped me out. And then every time she would, like, the Lady of the Sphere would appear. So you can just find this on YouTube. It's free. So Our Lady of the Sphere, 1969, and it'll pop right up. It's only 10 minutes, and it's just a really good. It's an interestingly good watch, and it's so dripping with just blatant occultism. It's
absolutely,
and it's not just thrown in there. If you're just seeing it as clip art and you're just seeing it for what you're not trying to actually discern what he's trying to say, then yeah, you might be like, well, that shit was just thrown in there. But if you actually take the time to sit and see what he's trying to say and see if you can glean what he's trying to get from it, and also try to go on the journey with it, keeping in mind it's inspired by the Tibetan Book of the Dead. So if you're familiar with the Tibetan Book of the Dead, now that I know that, I can go back and rewatch it with that in mind. I think it will be a completely different experience too.
Oh, for sure. I can imagine.
So yeah, totally very full waxing gibbous.
Yes, I agree with that statement. And also, I would like to say that in the picture of him that we found, along with his synopsis of his work and life, I thought that his multi-tone brown outfit,
color block,
coupled with the fact that he is from Denver, it really actually reminded me of the outfit that Jack Torrance wears to his job interview in The Shining.
Oh my God, totally.
I know. So, which of course is also witchy.
Yes.
So,
There you have it.
witchy roads, they never stop a meeting.
It's true. It's true.
So cheers to you, Larry, and your shiny inspired outfit.
Cheers, Larry.
Cheers.
Color blocking done right.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you guys. So there you have it. We're coming to the end of season 2. Only a couple episodes left, and that is that. The next one will be our Santa Muerte special. So excited to tell you all about the skinny lady.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't, I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Okay. I love her so much. Okay. And then after that, it'll be our Pride episode, our season finale, our Pride special, where we are going to have, for the first time ever, we are going to have a special guest on the show here around our corner of the circle. So exciting, exciting, exciting. And it's all going to be about queerness and witchcraft and the beauty of queerness and witchcraft and the intersection of queerness and witchcraft and the long relationship between the divine and queers throughout the pagan world into today. And why, of all of their witches, the deities love their gays the best.
We're just so cute.
It's true. And by gays, I mean all queers, by the way. As soon as I said the gays, I was like, damn, I meant queers. But interchangeable, as we say, we so know. That is what the show will all be about. The season finale, which is going to drop August 28th, I believe, or 25th. I'm not sure. I will have to double check and it'll flash here. But that will be when our season finale drops. And our season 3 premiere, our Samhain Dios de los Muertos New Year premiere, Witchy New Year premiere, will be October 12th. Mark your calendars. More on that as we come along. As always, witches, if you liked this episode, love this episode, have things to say to tell us, please put it in the comments. And do not forget to help us out by being sure to like, comment, subscribe, hype, and share it out. And as always, witches, remember, broomsticks, not just for cleaning.